Started. Hello and welcome in, folks. It's certainly good to see you all. This is the 439th episode of the Dean Withers Show. Thank you so much for being here. We are live a little bit later today than per usual. It is the evening. We're usually live a little bit earlier in the afternoon. Folks, I don't know what's going on with me today. I'm really tired. I feel really lightheaded. May not be on top of my game, but that's okay. Now, if you've never been here before, if you are a first timer, you are in for a treat. Here we debate Trump supporters. We try to change their minds. We try to convince them that they have been propagandized into believing lies, because I think that Trump is the worst president of your life and mine, regardless if you're 8, 18, or 80. That's the way it is. And every day he does something new to prove it, folks. Every single day. Every day we also like to go over the breaking news. What's today's breaking news before we hop into the debates? Donald Trump's birthday has been ruined. So there's been a handful of things he's been setting up for his birthday bash for his 80th on July 14th, like a UFC fight on the front lawn of the White House. He went on Truth Social. He said that what he wants for his birthday is world peace. And both of these two things are falling apart. First and foremost, you already know this, around 7 of the 10 selected headliners for his birthday bash have dropped out, said that they're not going to do it. They are distancing themselves from Trump. And then Trump completely canceled the music and said that he'd be headlining it. Well, then, as of today, we are now learning that bugs have infested the UFC fight set on the front lawn of the White House. And we're hearing many MMA critics and UFC critics telling us that they just don't think it'll work. A good example, Joe Rogan. I don't take him seriously when it comes to politics, but he does love fighting and he does know a lot about it. And he says that the UFC event outside will just simply not work because of the bugs and because of how hot it'll be. They were talking about how they looked at the same temperature a year ago on the same day when it was 114 degrees out. And then when you add in the lights, it'll only be hotter. And he literally doesn't think it'll work. And keep in mind, he's a supporter of Trump, so that's quite astounding to hear. So that's getting ruined. On the third point about world peace, okay, well, he kind of ruined that one himself. He said for his birthday, he wants world peace, really looking for an off-ramp in Iran, wants to get that ceasefire. Netanyahu has just continued their cleansing and their war crimes in Lebanon, meaning that Iran has not agreed to a ceasefire. Now we've gone back to striking them more and more and more. Now, I wish that we could get world peace for his birthday, but with him in charge, it won't happen. So it's funny, he's the one saying he wants the world peace for his birthday. That's all for now, guys. We already have the very first Trump supporter of the day connected in to the live stream. We're going to go ahead and send them an invite to turn their microphone on, and we'll allow them to take it away and to tell us how the hell they still support this train wreck of an administration. Go ahead and take it away.
I mean, yeah, like I said before, I support his immigration policy, his economic policy. I like what he's doing with ICE, deporting all the immigrants.
Okay. Economic policy. I rarely hear anybody on the right mention his economic policy anymore.
Yeah, because there's a lot of hypocrites, you know what I mean?
I'm Megan Fox.
Sorry,
they think Trump's economic policy is bad, so they don't want to mention it anymore, but I like it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. You just like it when our economy's worse off. Listen, bro. I want you to name a singular macroeconomic variable that's better off today because of Trump's economic policy than it was a year and a half ago under Biden.
That's one.
All right, this guy has no fucking clue what a macroeconomic variable is, which is fine, by the way. I don't expect you to know everything.
Can you explain it to me so I understand it?
Of course I can.
A civil conversation.
Sounds good. A macroeconomic indicator. Folks, that was just an ad when I was pulling up my YouTube stream. It was just an ad. A macroeconomic indicator is an indicator to gauge the general health of the economy at large. Okay, examples of macroeconomic indicators can be things such as GDP growth, real median wage growth, inflation, jobs reports, investment. And the reason why I ask you that question, can you name one singular macroeconomic indicator that's better today than it was a year and a half ago, is because they're all worse. The economy's in the drain, in the gutter. I mean, everybody's worse off. It's terrible. So tell us, what's one indicator that's better off today than it was under Biden?
Something Trump does, he takes risks. You know what I mean? No other president takes risks like him. He knows people complain about the gas prices, all this, but he did it so Iran doesn't come after us. You know what I mean? They don't come after us, so we could have the upper hand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll happily prove you wrong there too as soon as you can answer the question.
What was your question? I'm sorry.
Dude, I've said it 3 times. What is one macroeconomic indicator that is better today than it was a year and a half ago under Biden?
Good boy.
Wow, and here I was just trying to be friendly. Okay, we could take that route
I'm
too.
sorry. Go ahead. Say your question again. One more time.
I just did.
You said what was one microscopic policy by Trump? You said something about immigration, right?
Dude, this guy's he's either an idiot, a goldfish,
I'm
or
being
a
serious.
troll.
I just want to know. Like that's you know what I mean.
All right. Repeat after me. What?
One more time, okay? I'll repeat
no.
after you. One more time.
Repeat after me. What
What
is
is
one
one
macroeconomic
macroeconomic
indicator
indicator
better off
better off
today
today
than it was
than it was
a year and a half ago
a year and a half ago
under Biden?
under Biden? All right. One policy I would say is probably like the. I like how like right now for Trump, like he like you know what I mean. He gives more money for Medicare and like health insurance. You know what I mean.
Even if that was true, it wouldn't be a macroeconomic indicator. I told you what a macroeconomic indicator is. Do you remember
You
that?
said macro, not micro.
Yeah, macro. Do you remember the
Exactly.
description that I gave you of what a macroeconomic indicator is?
You need to get some braces. Your teeth are really effed up. You know what I mean.
Okay, thank you so much. Do you remember the description I gave you of what a macroeconomic indicator is?
Yes, you said it's a small
No,
policy, something
no.
small, something.
You need to get an education. Your brain's pretty fucked up. I'd rather have
Oh,
fucked
bro,
up
you
teeth
either you
than
go to
a
college. Come
fucked
on.
up
How are you gonna
brain.
talk to me about education? You didn't go to
I
college. Come
know.
on.
I know.
Come on.
I know. You're like saying that as if it makes like your position in the debate better. No, it makes it worse. Oh, Dean,
Bro, don't
you
come after me
could be
over my
more
education,
educated
right?
yourself, and you're still over here exposing me to possess the mental acuity typical of third graders. So, no, that's not what a macroeconomic indicator is, nor is that what I told you it is. So, a macroeconomic indicator. Okay, repeat after me again. Are you ready?
I'm not repeating after you. Just say it again.
Oh,
just
okay.
slowly.
That'll just tell you what it is.
Stay in a way
It
a
is-
5-year-old can understand.
It is a tool
For
that
your own
you could
sake.
use to gauge the overall health of the economy at large. Examples of macroeconomic indicators
There
are
we go. I
things
need
like
some examples.
GDP
That's what it is,
growth,
you know what I mean?
things like
Exactly.
inflation. Inflation is a macroeconomic indicator.
Yes.
Things like jobs. How many jobs are we adding to the economy? The unemployment rate is a macroeconomic
course, of
indicator.
course, you know what I mean?
Those are macroeconomic indicators. So what's one of
Okay.
those that's better off now than it was a year and a half ago under Biden?
I mean, back then I couldn't even get a job, but now, like, you know what I mean, when Biden was president, now it's so easy.
So what's the macroeconomic indicator?
You just talked about employment. I'm literally giving it to you, bro. Like, come on.
So you're saying that employment is better today than it was under Biden?
100%, without a doubt.
So 100% without a doubt false. Donald Trump's own Bureau of Labor Statistics tells us that the unemployment rate is the highest it's been since the pandemic. Last year, we had the most layoffs since the pandemic, and we got the worst annualized jobs report in
Let's just get
20
to
years,
immigration.
ignoring
Come on.
recessions.
Like, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? I think his economic policy is good, but let's just go to immigration. I'm
Okay,
really,
so you
like,
concede,
knowledgeable.
because you try to make the
That's
claim
I
that
don't
employment
concede,
is
but
better
you know what I
today.
mean? Like, whatever.
Why
Let's move
not?
the thingy.
Wait. Why don't you
Just wants
concede?
immigration, you know what I mean?
Why don't you concede? I gave you a really good
No, 'cause
reason
it's like
to.
there's a limited amount of topics you could talk about. Like, I just don't.
I
like
know,
it.
but I want to
Immigration.
stick on one topic at a time. Why don't you concede? You said that employment
how
was
about
better
some
today
simple
than it was under
immigration?
Biden. I gave you some great reason to believe otherwise.
Okay,
Why
how
don't you
about this?
concede?
We stay with
I
immigration.
don't want a negotiation here on if I'm
Bro.
going to allow you or not allow you to pivot. It's just not going to happen, little bro.
Sure, I concede. Is that what you want to hear?
Okay.
Oh, I'm Dean Withers. I won the debate. I'm so happy. Is that what you want to
Okay,
hear?
perfect.
Fine, I concede.
Concede.
Let's go to
Now,
immigration.
can you
Come
name
on.
any other macroeconomic indicators that you believe to be better off today than they were a year and a half ago?
We're not talking about economy anymore. What are you doing?
Well, okay, so you concede on like the entire thesis that Donald Trump is good for the American economy.
Well, like I said, like I still think it's good for the economy, but we'll move on to.
So then we're
it's a different
not.
topic.
No, we'll only move on either
God.
once you're able to defeat my arguments, or I'm
Sure,
able
he's
to
bad at
defeat
economy.
yours.
Bad at economy. Is that what you want to hear?
Okay. Well, I just want
He's
to.
bad
I
at-
want to hear what's true. So tell me what you think is true.
What do I think is true?
Yeah.
I think immigration policy is true. You know what I mean?
Okay. So do you have any other counter arguments against my claim that Donald Trump is terrible for the economy because every single macroeconomic indicator is worse off today than it was a year and a half ago?
I agree with you with economic policy. You know what I mean?
Okay,
That's
so he's
whatever.
really
That's what
bad
I
for the
hear so
economy.
bad.
It's
If
really
that's
bad
20
for
years
the
so bad,
economy.
sure. I agree with you.
Okay.
Economic
All
policy is
right.
bad
So now
economy.
we'll move
Boost
on to the next one.
immigration.
So the next one is
Immigration.
immigration. Perfect. So why do you support
Yes,
his
come on.
immigration policy?
Because you know what I mean. Like so much criminals in this country. We need them to like get out. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
Why?
I can't stand that.
So what is one way
Why do you
that our
wait?
country
What?
is
You should say
made better
why.
off, okay, by Donald Trump's mass deportation?
So for you, right? Would you rather there be no immigration laws or Trump's immigration law?
No immigration laws or Trump's?
That's a good question. Come on.
No immigration laws, actually. I actually think that the
Oh, come on.
anarcho-libertarian
That's
view
so
is
BS.
preferable. It's
That's
actually
so
not.
BS.
No, it's
You
actually
gotta
not.
have Trump's immigration
I
laws.
think that the anarcho-libertarian view, which would include no immigration laws, is more sound than Donald Trump's position for sure. Listen, I'll take anarcho-libertarianism over fascism any day of the week, 110%. I'll take communism as well over fascism every single
Actually,
day
let me
of
ask
the
you a
week,
different question. Would you
110%.
like to remove
So
ICE completely? Or no?
I actually allowed you to ask me a question that was completely irrelevant and irrespective of the debate because it's a
sorry.
false dichotomy. It's not like the opposition was running on zero immigration policy. So I want you to answer my question. What is one way that our country's made materially better off by Donald Trump's mass deportation?
Yo, Michael with the roses. Thank you. Thank you for the roses, Michael. Oh my God. Get 3,000 W's in Michael in the chat. Let's go. Michael with the roses. Oh my God. Let's go. I'm sorry. What were you saying? I didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you saying?
Oh, well, it's a question that I've already asked 3 times.
You said, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Like,
Wow.
I interrupted you.
It's like I'm talking to a toddler, genuinely.
I just want to appreciate my gifters. You know what I mean? So I just want to
Right.
what you say again? I'm sorry.
It's like I'm genuinely talking to a toddler. So the question that I asked,
not appreciate my
like,
gifters?
to be
What?
clear,
Is that bad?
3 times.
You don't like that? Like what?
Well, no, what I think is bad is your inability to like comprehend like any string of words that leaves my mouth to the point where you have me repeat myself 3 to 5 times in order for you to understand the questions I'm asking you. Even though I'm asking you them with patience and very slow, because I already expect you to be quite the idiot as a Trump supporter.
What's your problem with that? You know what I mean?
Like
You try
what,
to sound so
material?
intelligent, you say these big words.
The biggest
Oh my
word,
God, I'm being worthy.
the
This is how
biggest
smart I
word
am.
in
That's
my
all you do.
question is material. Do you know what the word material means?
Of course I know what material means. I'm not stupid.
Is
I went to college.
material
Unlike
a
you.
big word?
Of course not.
Okay, so then I'm not using any big words in my question. So the question is, listen closely. What is one way that Donald Trump's mass deportation has materially benefited America in the last year and a half? It's going to be like, what's your question?
All right, I'm sorry. No, but like, what? Wait, what was your question? I swear to God, I'm being dead serious. One more time. One more time.
I'm
'cause I don't
actually
think it's
talking
that's
to a
why.
bot. I'm
No, 'cause I
actually
don't think it's
talking. This is dude, you wanted, okay, to pivot to immigration because you
'Cause you're
couldn't
not
keep
even
up on the
asking a question,
economy.
That's why. What do you mean?
Wait, how do you know if I'm not asking a good question if you don't even know what it is? Because you want me to repeat it for a
Like the
sixth
fact that
time.
I don't even know if you're asking a question just shows you're trying to say some nonsense. Just to get out like a few big
I just think
words.
that
Like,
you're an
come on.
idiot. I don't even know how you brush your teeth in the morning. Like, this is genuinely insane. All right, repeat
I
after me
brush my
again.
teeth, don't worry.
Repeat after
I can
me
tell
again.
you don't brush your teeth.
Repeat
You
after
have
me
crooked
again.
teeth, bro. Come
Projection.
on.
Projection. Repeat
Fix your
after me
teeth,
again.
bro.
Projection. Repeat after me again. What is
Go ahead,
one
I'm
way?
sorry. One way.
No, I didn't say one way. I said, what is one way
What is one way?
that our country
Mm-hmm.
is materially benefited
Mm-hmm.
by Donald Trump's
Mm-hmm.
mass deportation?
Oh yeah, there's less criminals in the country.
And that would be a claim. How would that claim materially benefit America?
Because we don't want criminals in America? What?
Okay. No, you saying what you want is not describing a material benefit to the nation.
What?
How is anybody's life made better? Like,
People's lives-
specifically,
because people are not
how are
murdered.
people's
People are not
lives...
robbed. What?
Okay, so the claim is that mass deportation materially benefits America by reducing crime, right?
Like, wait, I'm sorry. Ask your question again.
So your claim is that mass deportation materially benefits America by reducing crime, right?
100%.
Okay, you're wrong. Undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes, 4 times less likely to commit nonviolent crimes. You remove them from the country, crime rates go up, and nominal crimes go up because it
Yeah, 'cause there's less
destabilizes
immigrants
the
in the
economy,
country
as
than
we already went
Americans,
over, causing more poverty. And then when you cause more poverty, of course, you also cause more crime. So crime rates go up and nominal crime levels go up.
No, because there's less immigrants in the country. That's why. Like, there's less illegal immigrants than Americans. That's why it's only like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
There's like
so I could really tell that you're like quite unintelligent. You're really unintelligent. Okay, check this out. So when I say that undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes on American soil compared to U.S. citizens, I'm not saying that when we look at the total number of crimes committed by all undocumented immigrants, it is 2.5 times less than the total number of crimes committed by all natural U.S.-born citizens. No, what I'm saying is that for every 100 undocumented immigrants, they commit 2.5 times less crime than a same group of like 100 random U.S. citizens. It is a per capita crime statistic. Per capita, per individual, the average undocumented immigrant is 2.5 times less likely to commit a crime than the average U.S. citizen.
That's 2.5 times too much, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if they only commit this much. We have to remove all those crimes. You know what I mean?
So that's why I gave you the argument about nominal crime levels as well. Not only did I say that crime rates go up because they're less likely to commit crimes, I also said that nominal crime levels go up because when you do a deportation, you cause more poverty, and that causes more crime.
No, not at all. That's completely false. No.
Okay, so you don't think that mass deportation causes more poverty?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
So I just want to clarify, you do not believe that mass deportation causes more poverty?
The mass deportation... One more time, I'm sorry. Please, I swear, wait, one more time.
Listen, dude. I have three categories for why people support Trump, okay? The first category for why people support Trump are because they're evil. They know the bad things Donald Trump has done and they don't care. The second category for why people support Trump is because they're dumb. They're just not smart enough to understand the reasons why he's bad. And then the third category for why people support Trump are genuinely because they're misinformed. Up until this point on my live stream, I've really only put people in the misinformed category or the evil category. I don't think I've ever explicitly put somebody in the dumbass category. But I think you're the first. I genuinely think that you are the first person on my stream that I can remember I have consciously placed in that second category of supporting Trump because you are genuinely not intelligent enough to understand the reasons why he's bad. Is this how you treat your guests? What the hell? With honesty, yes. With honesty, yes. Yes, I do. I do treat my guests with honesty. Let's go ahead and move on. Wow. Listen, folks, I can't even explain that conversation. That was just insanity. Here I am trying to just guide him through very simple principles, and I help him understand why Trump is so. And I'm talking to him like he's a third grader, but I feel like even a third grader would be able to track very simple back and forth dialogue. Holy crap! Hey, welcome in, John. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you, John?
I'm 36.
Oh, man, that's pretty terrible. You need to stop supporting Trump, man. Let me thank a couple people here. Carson, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo, says, do you think that Trump could stay awake for a whole UFC event? Absolutely not, man. I mean, just look at him at the Knicks game. He was dozing. Appreciate you for that 5. Alrighty. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. Andrew, thank you for the $100 donation on PayPal. And SJ, thank you so much for the $50. Dang, what the fuck? Folks, that's wild. We've only been live for 25 minutes, and y'all are already going so crazy. I'm so fucking grateful for you guys. Genuinely, Andrew and SJ, you guys are the uncontested goats. Thank you so much for going way above and way beyond. I am more than grateful. Thank you a billion times over. Let's get 500 SJ and 1,000 Andrew W's. Andrew with the $100. Genuinely insane, man. Thank you. Says Withers for President 2040. I don't know, man. I don't know what's in my cards. I don't know what my future holds. But Andrew, seriously, I hope that you enjoyed today's stream. Like I said, we just started it. And thank you for your kindness and your generosity. SJ with a $50 says just some love because I'm tired of the attacks on your character, intention, impact, etc. You become incredibly important to me. Listen, SJ, I know that you've been watching every day for a long time. I really love and appreciate you, and you know that. You are absolutely the GOAT. Listen, I think there's a lot of people who do hate on me online for not a lot of good reason. But you know what? Hey, that just comes with the exposure that tells me I'm doing something good. What I noticed, let me actually tell you guys this before we pass the mic to John to give us the argument insofar as why he supports Trump, as whenever I see an increase in my popularity, an increase in my reach, an increase in my impact, I also see an increase in the hate against me every single time like clockwork. Thank you so much, SJ. Thank you so much, Andrew. John, take it away. Tell us how you support this asshole.
Yep, haters gonna hate. Do I get a cut of that at all? No. Okay.
No.
So
I think that you just need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
okay, fair enough. Damn it, you got me there. All right, I have good bootstraps. My name is John. Last time we and you debated on the economy, right?
Oh.
And
John, I spoke to you
yeah.
yesterday.
Yes, and consensus of the things we're saying that I don't know. Your comments were saying I lost that debate. We can put a pin in that. But I have another issue. It's a bit of a heavy issue. I don't know if you're cool with that or not.
I'm probably just gonna kick you, John. I remember our conversation. I don't think that you're like a terrible guy or anything.
I wasn't talking about abortion.
You just weren't like keeping up. You want to? Okay. John, I'm going to give you 10 minutes max on this. Okay. All right. Do you think that all abortions should be banned?
Yes.
Okay. Including abortions in circumstances of rape?
I think so, yeah. I think what we should do is focus more on not letting rapists out of jail after 5 years. If you rape somebody, that should be a life imprisonment.
Yeah, this is a whole different point altogether. But then if you want to focus on ensuring that rapists are held accountable and thrown in jail, then don't make one president. A civil court did find Donald Trump guilty for raping a woman by the name of Eugene Carroll. But that's neither here nor there, right? Because the topic's abortion. Listen, let me ask you a question. Do you think it'd be okay for the state to forcefully compel 12-year-old girls to give up one of their 2 kidneys through an invasive surgical process to save the life of a stranger?
To give up? No, I would obviously no.
Okay. So 12-year-old girls should not be forced into providing their bodily resources to other people, even if it means that other person dies, correct?
Yeah, they should also not be forced to have sex. That's what a rapist does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, John, I don't think an implication of my statement that 12-year-old girls shouldn't be forced to provide their bodily resources to others is somehow implying that it's okay for 12-year-olds to get raped. No, rape is wrong, John.
Believe me, I know you weren't saying that.
I'm happy we agree there. Okay, so we do agree on the base principle that 12-year-old girls should not be forced into providing their bodily resources to other people, even if it means that other person dies. John, you don't think that rape victims should be denied access to abortion, because that right there is exactly why rape victims should be able to access abortion. When they are forced into sex, they are forced into pregnancy, they're forced into providing their bodily resources to another person to keep them alive. But we just agreed they don't have to do that. And that they don't have to do that is what signifies to me and everybody else watching that we agree that women and girls who are raped should be able to access abortion because they have no obligation to provide their bodily resources to another person, i.e. the fetus, to keep them alive.
I think the reason we get stuck on that is because it's such a like a moral, would you say, okay, they should have access to it as a necessary evil? Or do you just think there's nothing morally wrong with abortion?
John, I don't think there's anything morally wrong with it. You don't think there's anything morally wrong with it.
Let me ask you this then. If you don't think anything's morally wrong with it,
no,
would
John,
you have a problem with somebody doing it once a week, once a month, 100 times?
If a woman was raped every day for the rest of her life and she had to get an abortion, like once a month to deal with that, I'm not even gonna be thinking about the fact that she's getting an abortion. I'm gonna want to fucking start a civil war in her name because in America apparently women are getting raped every day. Right? Listen, I think that you're asking the wrong questions, and I don't think that you're listening to what I'm saying. I want you to listen very closely to the words that are leaving my mouth because they're very important. Okay? We agreed that 12-year-old girls should not be forced into providing their bodily resources to other people, even if it means that other person dies. Right or wrong?
Right. Okay.
That's abortion. They shouldn't be forced into supplying bodily resources through their umbilical cord to the fetus. They shouldn't be forced into supplying domicile in their uterus to the fetus, even if it means stopping the supply of the bodily resources through the umbilical cord or denying access to domicile in the uterus leads to the fetus's death.
You can get me there, but I would just view it as a necessary evil, since I view abortion as killing a human being. Right?
You view abortion as killing a human being in the same way that like you'd view that 12-year-old girl not giving her kidney to save the life of a stranger as killing a human being, especially as it relates to an abortion pill. All the abortion pill does is it stops the supply of bodily resources through the umbilical cord to the fetus.
I don't have a problem with, are you talking about the day after pill?
Talking about the abortion pill. It's the way that abortions are performed in around the first 12 weeks.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with people using abortion as a contraceptive. You know what I mean?
Okay, so just to clarify, earlier you told us that all abortions should be banned even in circumstances of rape. So I've changed your mind there. You now think that rape victims should be able to access abortion, right?
Well, I mean, you drive a hard bargain. Yes, I would say it's a necessary evil. I think.
Okay, good. It's not an evil at all, but listen, whatever's getting you to the conclusion that it should be legal. Okay, moving on to elective abortions. John, if you don't know what an elective abortion is, it's an abortion that a woman gets. It's an abortion that a girl gets because she wants to, not because that fetus was the production of rape, incest, or her life is on the line. All right.
Damn,
the most common reason for elective abortions would be poverty and financial insecurity. So tell us, why are those abortions morally wrong? Why should those abortions be banned?
I don't know. I grew up very poor, and I don't think somebody being poor should mean they should live or not.
Okay.
Right?
All right. But this doesn't answer the question on why you think it's wrong to kill that fetus.
Well, because I think it's a human life, and I think intrinsically killing a human life is wrong.
Yeah, I don't think you think that. Do you know what zygote is, John?
Zygote?
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
I think it's a cologne, but probably not in this context.
John, you really shouldn't be talking about these things if you don't know the basics. John, a zygote is the first stage of human development. It is a unicellular human organism. It's one cell, okay? And it kind of serves as a base plate for human life. Okay, it's a first stage of development. Are you following me?
Yes.
All right. We could freeze zygotes. We do all the time. It's kind of interesting. At IVF clinics, they'll just have all these frozen zygotes that then later they unfreeze and they implant into the uteruses of women so they could have kids. And when they're frozen, they're still alive and they're human. So if you think that human life intrinsically has moral value just because it's human life, imagine we had a frozen zygote that won't unfreeze. It's kind of like a medical and a scientific miracle. We don't know why. This has a lot of implications to it. Makes scientists reconsider the laws of like thermodynamics and physics, because why can't we increase the temperature of this thing? But the questions I'm considering here, the questions we're concerned with, would it be wrong to kill this frozen zygote that is frozen indefinitely and will never unfreeze until the end of time?
I don't know. Is that okay to say if I don't know? But listen, I think
John, I think you do know. It's
zygote,
one
right?
cell. It's one cell that
let me answer your
will
question.
always be one cell. It's frozen. It's something you could barely see with the naked human eye, and it will never be anything more than that. It's a frozen zygote.
Yeah, but if you stop anything from anywhere, it'll only be anything. But okay, you say zygote and then fetus and then baby and then toddler, then adolescence. It's just a part of the human process.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay, but that's not an answer to my question. So I didn't ask you, okay, is being a zygote a part of the developmental process of a human being? No, the question that I asked you is, well, if we had a frozen zygote that will never unfreeze, would it be murder to kill it?
I know, but I was pivoting because your question was difficult.
It's not difficult. The answer is no, of course. If we have a frozen zygote that for whatever reason won't unfreeze and it's a medical mystery, there wouldn't be anything wrong in just like, throwing it in the trash, breaking it, cutting it. There'd be nothing wrong with that. It wouldn't be murder, right, John?
Well, it wouldn't be murder, no, because murder is
There's a wrongful termination of a human life. Okay, so if you agree it's not murder, then you agree it's not wrong because murder is the wrongful termination of a human life. Okay, perfect. So you don't think that human zygote had moral value to grant it the right to life, even though it was a human and alive. This means that in fact you do not think that moral value is intrinsic to human life.
That's therefore that. I don't know if I agree with you. Here's why. Because, you know what I mean? Like, who am I to give value to? All I can say is the lines are arbitrary, right? When is the moment that a baby in the womb has value as a human? When is that?
I mean, if you just think that if you think it's all arbitrary and you don't know, well, then you could be doing something really, really bad by restricting a woman or girl's access to abortion. Because if you don't know if the life they're ending is morally valuable, that means there's a big possibility it isn't. Which means there's a big possibility that you are supporting a structure of human rights violations by denying women and girls access to abortion. If you are not, staunchly confident in your conviction that abortion is morally wrong, if you cannot justify that with a worldview, a moral foundation, and an argument, then you have no grounding to argue that you should then be able to control the bodies of women and... John, you're interrupting me. Every word that's leaving my mouth right now is very valuable.
I'm listening to you, but people are saying just kick him. I'm actually listening to you. I think they want to have people like debate and get angry at you and stuff like that, and that's not really my style.
John, I don't think it's that. I just think that it's the fact that you're not really listening to me, and it's almost like you're really kind of struggling to hear me out for what I'm saying and understand and comprehend what I'm saying. I think that's more so it.
I should probably not be reading the comments too.
Right. John, I am going to kick you though, because I told you I'd give you 10 minutes. I think that you should continue to listen to the live stream. I think that there's a lot that I have to say, and hopefully I'll be able to change your mind. We're going to move on to the next guest. Holy moly. Jeez. All right. 2 guests in, 30 minutes down, folks. We have 3.5 hours to go. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. How we doing tonight, folks? How we doing tonight? Let me know how you've been down below in that chat. Tina, thank you so much for that future city. I appreciate you. You are awesome. You already know that, though. Tina, you are legitimately in here like every single day. Know that I really appreciate you. Same thing to you, DB. Joseph, appreciate you so much for the galaxies, my friend. Y'all are the goats. Y'all are the goats. You already know it. Trump for life. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
19.
Is that Lana from Smallville?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't believe you about your age, though. Let's go to get that next guest connected up into the live stream right now. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, please and thank you. I was actually watching Smallville like right before I started my live stream. I got off the couch, came upstairs, and turned the live on. Holy. Hey, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
We are Charlie Kirk.
Well, you know what you're not? A good singer is what you're not. That kind of stank, bro. That reeks, dude. Work on it, please. Hey, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you, David?
25.
25, I believe you, man. Kyla, thank you for the galaxy. Let me thank 3 people, then the mic and the floor will be yours. Mr. Jose. Bro, y'all already know it. Jose, thank you so much for the $60 over on Super Chat. Thank you so much for that love and support, my friend. You are literally here almost every single day, and you have always been so kind to me. I am so very grateful for your continued love and support, and just know that you are the absolute GOAT. Let's get 500 Jose W's in that chat. Thank you, man. Seriously, thank you so much. Jose with the 60 says, 4 Dean, 20 minutes into it, and you were getting a bunch of MAGA dumb shit. Thank you so much for your patience, because I surely do not have it. Fight on, Dean. Thank you so much for the $60, Jose. You know, honestly, my patience is definitely tested by like people like the last 2 guests that just aren't really smart enough to keep up. But I try to be more gracious and less demeaning of them because it's more so like an intelligence issue than like an evilness issue. At least that's like what I as an optimist would hope, you know? Over on Venmo, thank you so much, Joseph, for the $30 on Venmo. Let's get 300 Joseph W's down below in that comment section. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, my friend. Joseph with a $30 says, just tune in to hear you already dog walking this guy on one of my favorite topics you do, which is abortion rights. Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. I try to stay good on that topic. It's important. Thank you so much for the $30. Huge shout out to Joseph. Same thing to you, Gabrielle. Thank you for the $5. Serena with the $10 says, Trump's birthday is going to be even worse since that's when the next No King's Day is. Oh, yeah, you already know it. That's going to be so much fun. Nina, thank you so much for the $20, who says, Dean, my fiance, says you're so dreamy. Well, shout out to him, I guess. Thank you, Nina, for the $20. Let's get 200 Nina W's. Okay. All right. Then over on PayPal, thank you so much, Lacey, for the $50 donation. That is LACEY. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Lacey. Let's get 500 Lacey W's down below. Lacey with the $50 says, I love watching your debates. Thank you for everything that you do. Well, thank you for your love and support. I live in a small town. $50 goes a long way, and I'm so very grateful for you. Genuinely, that is a lot of love, and I'm very, very, very grateful for you. Same thing to you, Drift and Nomad. Thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. And Alexis, thank you for the $5. We're all cut up. If you want to support me and support the stream, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio and TikTok. Pin message over on that YouTube stream, and the at's right there, Dean Withers without the Ian Withers. Go ahead and take it away, David. Tell us how the hell you still support this terrible president. Genuinely, I don't understand how.
So first, I just want to say thank you for all the coins, Trump supporters. I actually don't support Trump, but thank you for the free money. Dean, you're the man. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Get out of here. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up inside of the queue right now. Only hop inside of that box if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. But that reminds me of that time where we had a rich Trump supporter in the stream legitimately spending like upwards of $500 on every single Trump supporter who joined up on the live. And admittedly, it did kind of start to annoy me. So what I did is I texted Santana, a friend of mine who also does these debates, who's on the left, and I said, join my stream, act like a Trump supporter, don't ask questions, I'll explain it later. He did, and then I had like a fake mock debate with him where he was LARPing his MAGA for 10 minutes, and in that 10-minute span, he was donated like $300 from this MAGA idiot, and then we all laughed in his face. That was a good day. If you were there, if you were watching that stream, that was funny. Mikey, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Mikey, you're like 5. Goodbye, Mikey. I guess I don't have the rules in the middle of the phone screen, so that's kind of my fault, folks. And in order to join, you got to be 18 plus. American and MAGA, you got to be 18 plus. American and MAGA, that's it. That's all. Let's go to get that next guest connected. Seriously, folks, I think that we need to go on a little bit of a banning spree of people who are not MAGA inside of that queue. We're going to go ahead and do that after the next guest, everybody. So if you're not a Trump supporter and you're inside of the queue by the time this next guest leaves, you are probably going to get banned. All right, folks, let's go to get that next guest connected right now. We got JWH connecting to the live stream. He didn't load in. That's fine. Let's go to move on to the next guest right now. Everybody, please only hop inside of the queue if you were actually MAGA. Only hop inside of the queue if you're actually MAGA. Autumn, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Says, Dean, I'm going camping today. Wish me luck. Listen, you don't need luck. You just need to have fun. Have fun, Autumn. Camping is so much fun. I hope that you enjoy it. Shout out to you. Thank you for the $10, by the way, and enjoy your camping trip. We got white boy type shit connecting to the live stream. Hey, white boy type shit. Do you support Trump?
For president. Mar for president.
Okay, and that guest for the jail sale, you're banned. So let's go to get that next guest, American gal, connected to the live stream, folks. Really annoying. Really annoying. All right, here we go. I think that we finally got a Trump supporter. Hey, Adriana, thank you for the $10 on Super Chat. Who says, keep up the hard work, man. Your patience is crazy. Our generation is watching you grow into a future leader. Oh, dude, thank you so much for the kind words, Adriana. Beyond kind of you. Hey, American gal, do you support Trump? I do. Hey, American flag, do you support Trump?
Of course I support Trump.
Okay, which one is that? Is that American gal or American flag?
I said I support Trump.
Let me ask again. Is your username American gal or is your username just the 2 American flags? There's 2 people connected to the live stream. I'm trying to figure out which guess you are.
I'm American gal. I'm not sure who this other person is.
Max Harrison, are you here? It doesn't sound like Max Harrison is here. All right, American gal, how old are you?
I'm 18.
Oh, it's just Icky Vicky. You changed your name.
No, I want to talk to you about abortion.
Actually? Because usually when you come up, you just want to talk to me about me, and then you end up annoying the fuck out of like everybody watching, and then I kick you.
I only annoy you because I cook you every single time.
Listen, Vicky. I just never actually have a debate with you. But if you're telling me that you actually want to debate me on abortion.
I'm not sure why you're calling me Vicky. But I'll talk to you about
Okay, you're acting like you're not Vicky. So now that just signifies to me that you're just trolling. So I want to kick you.
I just said I want to have a discussion about abortion. I don't.
Okay, so then stop role playing as if you aren't Icky Vicky. That's the Icky Vicky sigh right there. You just that's when Donald Trump goes, quite frankly, it's like, imagine you were talking to somebody, they were like, hello, this is Ronald Dobinson, call him into Fox News, how we doing today? Then they're like, Donald Trump, is that you? And then he's like, quite frankly, it is not me. Okay, well, no, of course it's him. That's his signal. That's his go-to. Just like that little sigh of yours is your signal. It's your go-to. Vicky, I'm going to kick you.
But I want to talk to you about, okay, it's me.
30 seconds. 30 seconds to give me a legitimate argument insofar as why you think abortion is wrong.
What? Wait, what'd you say?
30 seconds to give a legit argument.
Because I think the Democratic side supports abortion. I don't support murdering fetuses in cold blood, millions every year.
Okay, I do.
And I like to. That's the issue. That's the fundamental difference between Republicans and Democrats.
Can I get an argument that that's an issue?
If you support humanity, if you support humans in general, then you wouldn't support Democrats.
Sure. Could I get an argument for the fact that abortion is murder?
Do you know what murder is?
Yeah, it's the unjust termination of a human life. And more specifically, what I'm asking you for an argument for is that abortion meets that criteria of being the unjust termination of a human life. Why is it wrong?
Because we're not allowed to kill humans as we please. That's just not how the world works.
Can I get an argument for that? It sounds like you're just giving me a circular position. You're saying it's wrong because you're not allowed to get abortions. Okay, but why are you not allowed to do it? Because it's wrong. So in other words, you're just saying it's wrong because it's wrong. Okay, so my counter argument is it's not wrong and we are allowed to do it because it's not wrong. All of a sudden, our two positions are just as sound as the other.
We are Charlie!
Yeah, you actually fucking suck at singing? Wow. Honestly, last time you joined, Vicky, I told you that we have like a national emergency on our hands here and you have to take a shower at once. But frankly, now I think it might just be permissible for you to take some singing lessons before you hop in that shower, because that is nearly worse. You could kill people with that screech, Vicky. You can. You could end lives. Oh my goodness. Next Trump supporter. We're going to go to get them up from that queue. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump as president. We got Tim loading in. Timmy boy. Hello. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? No, I guess they don't. They left. Lord T, thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat. I appreciate you so much for that love, Lord T. I know that you're also always watching. Thank you for supporting the stream. You're awesome, man. Lord T with the $20 says, fucking wild that Dean, Parker, and Santana have a bunch of debater groupies going around that just want seconds, thirds, etc. Fucking move on with your life, touch grass, and put this much time into a career. Happy Friday. Bro, you're so fucking, you're so fucking right, Lord T. Like, there'll be days where, like, me, Parker, and Santana will, like, all debate the same person. And this person is seemingly just on their phone all day long. Charlie, hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, wait, hold on for like 2 seconds.
I would just prefer a yes or a no.
Yes, I do.
You do? How old are you?
Okay, I'm ready to debate now.
Are you like a reincarnation of the Kirky?
No, I'm not.
Okay, just another Charlie. Well, go ahead and take it away. Tell us why you support Trump.
Yeah, so I used to debate you. I'd say that you're up like 10%. I'd say 60 to 40. You're winning. So I'm going to debate you about abortion.
Oh, man. Your internet sucks. No, come on. You got to figure that out. If you're on LTE, connect to Wi-Fi. If you're on Wi-Fi, well, then get off it because it's trash and get on LTE.
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go. You said you wanted to debate me on abortion. Well, I don't want to debate you on abortion. I'm tuckered out of the abortion debates. Listen, they're all the same. They're all the exact same. Like, that's the one thing that I'll say about abortion debates, specifically with like younger, like MAGA men, is that it's the same thing every single time.
This is not the same. It's not the same. This one's not the same.
How about, let me ask you another question. So the argument is that you support Trump because you think that it'll save innocent human life, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if it were hypothetically true that, for instance, the Democrats would save more innocent human life than Trump, even in consideration, okay, of abortion, would you then change your support to the Democrats?
Probably on this issue, yes.
No, not probably on this issue. No, but like as a whole, because keep in mind, you said it's true that the reason why you support Trump is because he saves the most innocent life. Therefore, if it was rather true that Kamala Harris would save the most innocent life, it would then follow that you would support Kamala Harris.
Sure, but there's more policies that I consider other than abortion. But yeah.
Okay. How about this? So if Kamala Harris would save like
vote for
significantly more innocent human lives than Trump, would you still support Trump?
Probably not. No.
Okay, sounds good. Well, she will, and she would have, because Donald Trump cut USAID expenditure. So research finds that more than 14 million preventable deaths will occur by 2030, specifically because Donald Trump defunded USAID. Now, my source for this is going to be UCLA Fielding School of Public Health, doing an annotation and a review of a peer-reviewed study from The Lancet titled "Evaluating the Impact of 2 Decades of USAID Interventions and Projecting the Effects of Defunding on Mortality up to 2030."
And how much was that total number?
14 million.
Okay, so there's 73 million abortions per year.
There's
Worldwide.
only around 1 million abortions
I'm not sure how many of those
in
are in
America,
the US.
and that's only gone up ever since Donald Trump
In the
overturned
US.
Roe v. Wade. Yeah, so that's 14 million lives that are going to die because of Trump by 2030. So that's in 4 years, which would average out to a yearly annual average significantly higher than around 1 million. And that's assuming that Donald Trump was able to completely get rid of every single abortion that occurs in America, which in fact, there's been the opposite effect. In fact, since he overturned Roe v. Wade, the numbers of abortions in this country have only gone up. So overall, even in consideration of abortion, Kamala Harris would have saved more innocent human lives than Trump.
Yeah, I don't think that analysis is true, given the fact that if you take an analysis and you bind it to a given properties of what you want to evaluate, and you run a regressional analysis on that, of course you can move statistics around to give yourself the statistic that you want. So where did this article come from?
From The Lancet.
And who is going to be harmed most? What are the children dying from this, or old people dying from this, or middle-aged people dying from this?
Let's see. It says the finding indicates that this is like gibberish to me. Let me just like read you off what it says. The finding indicates that 9189663 in quotation marks 95% CI 856900135-98 to 91626 in quotation marks all age deaths, including 3039190 in quotation marks 2602312 to 35 million and children younger than 5 years were prevented. By USAID funding over the 21-year study period. Okay, I just needed to read the rest of the sentence. So the finding indicates that around 91 million all-age deaths, including 30 million in children younger than 5, were prevented from USAID funding over the 21-year study period. USAID funding was associated with a 65% reduction in mortality from AIDS, 51% from malaria, and 50% from neglected tropical diseases. Significant decreases were also observed in mortality from tuberculosis, nutritional deficiencies, diarrheal diseases, lower respiratory infections, and maternal and paternal conditions. Forecasting models predicted that the current steep funding cuts would result in more than 14 million in all-age deaths, including 4.5 million in children younger than age 5 by 2030. Okay, so in summation, the only breakdown that I could give you of age is out of those 14 million deaths, around 4.5 million of them were in children younger than 5. But ultimately, I don't think that age matters.
Okay, yeah, I just have to look at that article for myself because that sounds like a very high number, given the fact that 2030 is pretty close.
I mean, there's 8 billion
drastic.
There's like 8 billion humans.
Like, yeah, I mean, in the entire globe, there's not 8 billion people in North America,
right?
Let alone
and
the
US.
US.
idea wasn't just for North
And I don't
America.
think
it was actually global funding, which most significantly impacted Africa. Saved millions of lives in Africa. 90 million lives in Africa for the most part, as well as other places around the globe.
Wait, so you're saying that this is 14... So you're saying that this is 14 million across the entire globe or in the US?
That's 14 million across the globe.
Okay, yeah, I was saying that there was like... I forget the exact number of abortions per year across the globe.
Yeah,
then
but
you
Donald
said
Trump
that
isn't
number was
stopping
incorrect
global
because
abortions.
we're looking at the US. Are we looking at the US or are we looking globally?
So for abortion, we're looking at the U.S. because
Okay,
US
but if
legislation
we're
on
looking
abortion
at...
only stops abortions in the U.S.
Yeah, we have
for
to compare
USAID
it.
funding, for
Yeah, so we're
USAID
gonna
funding,
have to
we're looking at the globe. Because inevitably, the scope of comparison here is just simply looking at how many lives will this policy save, right? And when we pass like abortion bans in America, well, that will only save lives, under your view, in America.
Okay, let me explain myself. So if we're looking at total abortions or people in poverty, of course, there's going to be more people in poverty where the GDP per capita or they're not as rich as the United States. So if we're looking solely at the United States, this number is going to be way lower. If it's 14 million globally, I'd say that 90 to 95% of that is coming from impoverished countries. And if we look at total abortion rates, most of those abortion rates are also coming from impoverished countries. So we have to compare it from the U.S. to the U.S. And if we're comparing the amount of abortions with the United States,
I think this guy is like really stupid, or you're just trolling. No, we're looking at the total amount of lives that their respective policy would save. Kamala Harris's respective policy of continuing USAID funding would have saved 14 million lives by 2030 in comparison to Donald Trump's cuts to the program. Now, if we assume that abortion's wrong, and that Donald Trump overturning Roe v. Wade would have stopped every abortion in the U.S., which is incorrect. In fact, the opposite has happened. There's only been more. That would have only saved around 4 million lives by 2030. So basically what we're saying here is even in this hypothetical where Trump's abortion policy stopped all abortions in America, Kamala Harris's policy still overall would have saved more lives.
Okay, I don't understand why every time you get upset you insult people's intelligence. You've done that the last, I think, every single guest that's
because
been
you
on
made some
here
really
for the last
stupid
45
comment
minutes, you've
about how we
insulted
should
their
just look at the amount of life
And
saved
I haven't
in
made
America.
a stupid comment.
Okay, well it was a stupid comment when you said that, well, to attempt to identify which candidate would have saved more lives, we should only look at life saved in America. Well, the reason why that's stupid is that you don't think that being an American is what grants you the right to life. You think that like being a human with a future like ours is what grants you the right to life. So why would we ever, all right, and place some type of restrictor on the life saved specifically to Americans, right? Do you think that a fetus in a woman's uterus in China is any more or less valuable than a fetus in a woman's uterus in America?
I'll tell you exactly why I said that. So when I mentioned the abortion rate of 73 million, you said that we need to be looking at the United States. Yes. And then you gave me the number of 14 million, and you were acting like that number was 14 million within the United States. Yeah. But then you said it was global. So then I changed my number from 73 million to 1 million because that's within the United States. Right. So I was not saying that 73 million is no longer a number that we should be looking at.
Do you know the reason?
I was just saying it so that we can be comparing a case-to-the-case basis of the United States to the United States.
No, you're silly. We shouldn't be comparing United States to United States. We should be comparing life saved to life saved. The reason why I told you that we should only be looking at abortion figures inside of the United States under Donald Trump's policy is because he will only stop abortions in the United States. The reason why we shouldn't be evaluating this $73 million figure, $73 million figure, the 73 million figure insofar as how many abortions are had around the world on an annual basis, is because Donald Trump's abortion policy will not stop abortions around the world. It will only stop abortions in America. So when I said we should only be looking at America, all that I'm saying there is that we should only be looking at the impacts of Donald Trump's abortion policy.
Okay, so that 12 to 14 million number that you mentioned, I think that you had already mentioned it. How much of that would be within the United States, does it say?
No, and it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Can you give me a reason why that would matter?
Okay.
Instead of cope laughing, give me a reason why that would matter.
Yeah, I'll give you a reason why it would matter, because you're saying that all life that is lost is bad, and I agree with you. But then you're saying that if Trump were to... Okay, what am I trying to say? You're saying that we cannot equate 73 million because Trump would not have an effect on those 73 million. He would only have an effect on those 1 million. So we have to compare this 1 million number to another number within the United States.
Why?
We can't compare the 1 million to the 14 million.
Why?
Because it's not having a direct effect. It has to be compared to the total.
There's no direct effect. Yes, the direct outcome of 14 million people dying in the next 4 years is from the cause of Donald Trump defunding USAID. Once again, the evaluative standard is looking at the life saved by Kamala Harris's policy and the life saved by Donald Trump's policy. If Donald Trump went on this global conquest of stopping abortions overseas, and he was able to successfully reduce the level of abortions received globally annually from 73 million to 0, well, then we would also be looking at the global impact of Donald Trump's anti-abortion crusade. The only reason why I said that we should only be looking at the number of abortions in America is because that's the only local figure of abortions that Donald Trump's policy could possibly reduce.
Yeah, I get it.
It has nothing to do with some
that.
arbitrary standard of saying in America compared to outside of America. It has all to do with, well, what's the impact of the policy? How many lives are saved because of this policy?
Yeah, I get that. Can I give you my argument now for why your position on abortion doesn't make sense?
No, I want to know why you still support Trump, because it seems like you should concede and argue that you should have voted for Kamala Harris because overall more lives would have been saved given she was president today. And you told me that you would stop supporting Donald Trump and you would start supporting Kamala Harris, and you would say in retrospect you should have voted for her in the last general election if it were true that her policy would have saved more lives, which it is.
No, I didn't say that I would start supporting her.
Okay, but you did say that you would stop
supporting Trump on this
issue. Right. And no, you didn't say on this given issue. No. Let's go ahead and go back to the beginning of the live stream and just take a listen over. This is so fucking embarrassing. Is that you don't think that being for USAID funding, and so the finding indicates
that you want
annual average significant.
I consider other than winning.
No, come on. You got to figure that out. You can get on LTE. Yeah, there we go. They're all the same. Specifically, there we go. Let's take a listen. Okay. Would say, of abortion, human life, then Trump. Even, that, for instance, the Democrats. Okay. So if it were hypothetically true that, for instance, the Democrats would save more innocent human life than Trump, even in consideration, of abortion, would you then change your support to the Democrats? I asked this question twice, by the way.
Probably on this issue, yes.
No, not probably on this issue. No, but as a whole. Because keep in mind, you said it's true that the reason why you support Trump is because he's...
You're just gaslighting me into changing my mind.
Therefore,
I
if
just
it was
wanted to say
rather
yes to get on with it.
that Kamala Harris would save the most innocent life, it would then follow that you would support Kamala Harris.
Sure, but there's
Yeah, you said explicitly that it would follow from your logic that you would support Kamala Harris, given that I could demonstrate that it's true that her presidency would have saved more lives. Buddy, you're cooked.
Okay. You kind of made me fall into a trap there. I didn't even want to say sure. I kind of just said sure to move on with the topic.
Oh my god! Oh my god, the cope. The cope. The absolute cope. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Well, thank you for putting a smile on my face because I find you fucking ridiculous. Absolutely laughable. All right, so just to clarify, that you are now saying, although at the beginning of the debate you stated verbatim, right, that it would be true you would have supported Kamala Harris instead in the last general election if her presidency ultimately would have saved more lives. But now you're saying, no, Dean, I didn't mean what I said, and I only said it because you trapped me. Okay, well, how are we using the word trap in that statement? The way that you're using that word trap is to signal that I demonstrated to you how your logic would necessarily entail and force you to believe that Kamala Harris would have been the preferable candidate. Because if that's not what you mean by trap, well, then I don't know what you're attempting to communicate to me when you tell me that I forced you to say that you should have supported Kamala Harris in the election. I think that this is where I kick you for being a disingenuous pig.
I feel like when you have someone intelligent come up here, you get very angry all the time, which is a little interesting to me. But the reason why I say that you trapped me is because when I answered the two questions previously, I was hesitant to say that I would stop supporting Trump and I would support Kamala Harris. Then you kept asking me time and time again, and every time I gave you my answer, you weren't happy with my answer. So I thought maybe if I switch my answer, we can just move on from this and we can actually get into the debate, because you get so stuck up on these little words and these key phrases. I only asked you once and then I clarified on your answer. You asked me 3 times.
We listened to it twice in that video. We listened to it twice in that audio clip. What is this gaslighting? Also, bold of you to assume that you're intelligent.
Those that once, twice, or 3 times.
Bold of you to assume that you're intelligent once, twice.
I don't think that I'm that intelligent, but from some of the previous people I've heard, I think I'm a bit
I think this is where I kick him, because this is where like the MAGA mind just breaks down. Have a good day. Let's go to get that next guest connected to the live stream right now. Okay, that's just, we caught him in a lie, everybody. We caught him in a lie. He said verbatim that he would regret his vote for Trump, and he would argue that he should have supported Kamala Harris instead if it was true that her presidency would have saved more lives. I give him an undeniable argument that it is true her presidency would have saved more lives if she was elected. And then he starts like crashing out saying that, well, I just like gaslit him and like forced him into giving that answer. Right? I just think that you're crying. Like the moment that you start depicting your debate opponent as an abuser that is forcing you to do things you don't want to is probably when you lose the debate. I don't know. That's fair to say. Hey, welcome in, man. Do you support Trump?
I do.
Okay, how old are you?
21.
Okay, what year are you born in?
04.
Okay, all right. Yeah, let me thank a couple people, then I'll pass that mic off to you. Miss McKenzie, thank you so much for the 70 Canadian dollars over on Super Chat. I really appreciate you so much. That is an insane amount of money. Thank you so much, McKenzie. Let's get 700 McKenzie W's down below in that comment section. Genuinely, thank you so fucking much for that love and support. McKenzie with these 70 Canadian dollars says, Dean,
thank you.
Please
thank you, Wednesday.
McKenzie.
Oh, McKenzie, thank you so much for supporting Dean.
So true. McKenzie with the 70 Canadian dollars says, Dean, please don't stop schooling men on abortion. They need the education. Unfortunately, women can't fight this fight alone. Yeah, I'll never give it up. I'll never give it up. Thank you so much for the 70 Canadian dollars, McKenzie. I really do enjoy abortion debates. I just did want to take that last one from an alternative angle. Omega Star, thank you for the $20, who says, the last guest knows the reason it doesn't matter to him. It starts with race and ends with ism. Thank you so much for the $20. Yeah, and that's probably why he was saying that it doesn't matter that all these millions of people are going to die because they're out of the U.S. and predominantly in Africa. Right. Chris, thank you for the $20. I appreciate you so much. Let's get 200. Chris W's in that chat, who says, been injured, no running the last 2 months after a 100K. Damn! Keeps have helped to keep me distracted. The streams have. Hope to be back this week. Wow. Chris, 100 kilometers. That's insane. Good for you, man. You are another breed, man. I couldn't imagine. Show some love to Chris down below. over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Kayla, for the $10. Yeah, Kayla, I think that that's a better question for like a Q&A, just because it would take me a while to expand upon it in like the middle of a debate, you know? Danielle, thank you for the $5. I appreciate you so much. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the $10, who says, I will not do this, but sometimes I want to join the queue to get a debate going. That would defeat the purpose, though, because fuck Donald Trump anyways. Thank you for everything, Dean. Well, I appreciate you for watching, Elizabeth, and I also appreciate you for saying that you would not do that. Lewis, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you, man. That is LUIS. Lewis with a 20 says, Trump is literally dragging America down, and these callers all want to talk about is abortions and borders. You should make them stay on topic on how Donald Trump is directly affecting them. I rarely ask them that question. I should start asking them that question. Kat, thank you for the $10, who says trillionaire shouldn't exist. Fuck Elon Musk. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Bro, on God. I feel like you could really convince anybody of that. Like, I understand that it's like pretty like partisan on if like it's ethical for billionaires to exist. But I think that like literally every person with a mind and a net worth less than like $500 billion should be able to agree that trillionaires shouldn't exist. That's just insane to me. How about that? I still have a couple more people to thank, Keegan, but I actually want to ask you about that as a Trump supporter real quick. Do you think that trillionaires should exist?
They work their way up to it, yeah.
Do you think it's possible to work hard enough to be worth $1 trillion?
No.
Okay. So in other words,
But if
you don't
there's a
think it
will,
should be
there's a way.
possible to be. So you said
There's a
it's
will,
not
there's a way.
possible to work hard enough to make $1 trillion. So in other words, you don't think that trillionaires should exist.
I know I couldn't be a trillionaire, but
I'm happy you know that, right? But do you know how like large a trillion is?
yeah. And also, I wouldn't want to be that rich.
That's like, dude, that's 1,000 billions.
Yeah.
You know how much a
too
billion is?
money.
1,000 millions.
Yeah, too much money.
Way too much money, man. I'm happy that we could kind of sort of hesitantly agree on that. Okay, like 3 more people to thank on PayPal, then we'll hop into that debate. Miss Sarah, thank you so much for the $30 donation on PayPal. Thank you so much. Let's get 300 Sarah W's down below in that comment section. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sarah with the $30 says, listening to you most evenings from Scotland in awe of your emotional and intellectual intelligence at such a young age. Dean for president. Sorry about your grand. Oh, well, I appreciate you so much, Sarah. Thank you for the kind words and thank you for the 30. I don't know if I'll ever be president. I might just stay in my line of political commentary, but I don't know. We'll see if I ever get into politics, even if it's not the presidency. SJ, thank you for the $20 over on PayPal. I see that you are asking me to keep that message to myself, so I sure will. Just know that I love you. Thank you so much for the $20, SJ. Let's get 200 SJ and Sarah W's, and then we have one big one, and then I'll go ahead and pass the mic down to our guest Keegan down here, Miss Anne from Quebec City. Thank you so much for the $200 donation over on PayPal. And bro, you know what I'm about to say. I don't deserve that, not a penny of it. And I am, as always, so fucking grateful for you. That is genuinely like mind-blowing. I don't deserve a penny of that. Genuinely, thank you so much. Anne comes in here once every month or two, and she just drops the craziest donation ever. Like I said, am so fucking grateful for you. Thank you so very much, Anne. Let's get 2,000 Anne W's. That is just insanity. Anne with the $200 says, as always, thank you for your important work. I worry about the U.S.-Canada relationship, and I worry about where it will be in 2 years. What do you think? I'm sending lots of love from Quebec City. I think that we'll just kind of see worsened relations and more, stress between the two countries. I don't think that we'll see like a boiling point with anything really bad happening. And I think that that level of like stress and lack of cordiality between America and Canada will just kind of naturally go away and fizzle out when we have a president who isn't Trump. So I don't expect it to like reach a boiling point where things get really bad. But like I said, just not a good relationship for now. Thank you so much for that love. Genuinely, you're the GOAT. Show some massive love to Ann down below while we're hopping into this next debate. Keegan, take it away. Tell us why you're MAGA.
Before anything else, I just want to tell the people in the comments, if you open your eyes and read my bio, you'll understand that I'm not homophobic.
Okay, so you are homophobic.
No, that I'm not.
No, because that's what your bio says. It's like the little cross, and it's like pushing the little pride flags away. It's like,
oh, wait, I might be stupid. I thought homophobic is being gay.
The jokes write themselves, Keegan. Okay. So tell us, The jokes really write themselves. Holy fucking shit. You are an idiot. You are an A-grade idiot. I'm laughing in your fucking face, Keegan. Wow.
Thank you.
All right. Well, okay, listen. We can't use the word gay. We have to use the phrase non-straight so we don't get flagged by TikTok.
Okay, so what does
such a
homophobic mean?
He's such a moron. Oh my goodness. Keegan, okay. Wow. So, no, yeah. Being homophobic doesn't mean to be gay. It means to not like gay people
I thought you
because
said we
you're a
couldn't
fucking
use that
weirdo.
word.
We can't use it in a debate about why it's wrong, but we could use it in a more general sense.
I didn't. I just told them I wasn't gay.
Okay, I know,
never said
because
it's wrong.
because it seems like you disagree with not being straight, right?
No, I do not disagree.
Then why do you have the little hands pushing it away?
Because that's not what I believe in.
Okay, but when you say that you don't believe in being non-straight, I don't take this to mean that you like don't think that like non-straight people exist. It's not like you're saying you don't believe in ghosts. I more so take it like for you to mean that you don't believe in it in the sense that you think it's morally wrong. You think it's like depraved. You think it's sinful. You think it's something that people shouldn't do.
Yes, that's what I think.
Okay, so you
I
do
know
think
it's
it's
real,
wrong.
but I don't believe in it.
Okay, so you do. So once again, I'll ask you then: why is it wrong? Why is it depraved? Why is it sinful to not be straight? Also,
It's
keep in
just my
mind,
belief.
continue to use that word non-straight.
Okay, yeah. I'm not gonna hate anybody because they're non-straight. I mean, in any way, God still loves them. It's their choice to do what they do. They have a right to be what they want to be. So
Okay, so you think it's a choice?
it's just
I have
my
a question.
belief not to be non-straight.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
All
to
right.
be straight. Sorry.
Yeah.
Makes
My
them
first
alarmed.
question is: could you choose to be sexually aroused by your mom? My answer to this question would be no.
Depends. Yeah. If
Keegan,
you're
what do you
wait,
Keegan?
yeah,
What do you
no,
mean?
no, no,
Keegan,
no,
what do you
no,
what do you
no,
mean?
no,
It
no, no, no.
depends. What do you mean? It depends.
Nigger.
And that's Christian for you, folks. Obviously, they're banned. That's a Christian for you, everybody. And that's exactly why I think that, for all the more good faith, benevolent Christians out there watching the live stream, that you have an obligation, okay, to be louder than ever about the love and acceptance that, you believe is promoted and included with inside Christianity, okay? Because let me tell you, the Christians with the largest and most powerful mics are people like that last guess, who want to use it not as a symbol of peace and love, but want to contort it into a weapon of hate to divide. He spent 5 minutes talking about as God and how he loves everybody, but then he went on to say that, well, if you're gay, you're doing something wrong. You're going to hell, and, if you're black, I hate you, and here's me screaming the N-word. And that's a representation of modern-day Christianity. I wish it wasn't the case. That's once again why I say if you're a good Christian, you should be loudly outspoken in condemnation of people like that. Because it's also causing people to leave the church in numbers never seen before. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Wow, there's no way I got picked on my first try. I support Trump.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay.
25, actually. Sorry, my birthday just passed.
Happy birthday. What time is it?
It's currently 6:57.
All right, man. Give me like 2 seconds here, then I'll pass you the mic. Mets, METT, thank you for the 20 Canadian dollars over on Super Chat. Who says, Dean, please? It's pronounced Quebec. Thank you. Also, Canadian signed petition E7319 to kick ice out of Canada. I don't know if I've ever had the pronunciation of Quebec described to me. That's how you say it, Quebec?
I'm actually up here just to correct you on that.
Oh, okay. All right. You take care. Let's go to get that next guest connected to the live stream right now. Is it Quebec? Like, you almost have that pause in there. Is it just like Quebec? Quebec. Is it more of a K or a K? Let me know. Let's go to get that next guest connected to the live stream. Only hop inside of that box if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump. We got Grace. Let it in. Hey, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
We are team with it.
Moving on to the next guest. Not today, Via. Not today. Banned. Banned.
We are Charlie Kirk. We care.
No, not today. We're not doing it today. No, we're not. Listen, I gotta be like as boring as possible when they come up here and they do that, or else if I give any kind of reaction in the slightest, the next thing I know, it's posted on their account with 1 million likes. Like, it's brutal. It's terrible. Leave me alone. Hey, do you support Trump?
We are
Not a fucking second. No. Not a fucking second more. Not a fucking second more. Moving on to the next guest. Only opposite side of the QV happen to be MAGA. Folks, we got to stop the invasion. Do you support Trump?
I just want to say I'm 18. I'm neither Democratic or Republican, but I have a question for you. How can you, as a male, feel like you have an opinion on what women can and can't do with their bodies?
Oh, okay. And you're asking me like this to me?
Yes, and I don't want to like argue.
Okay, so just to clarify, like you don't think like I should like have the opinion that women should be able to access abortion?
Well, I'm just saying you're not a woman yourself, so why do you feel you deserve to have an opinion on what we can and can't do with our bodies?
It's not even that I think everybody deserves to, but I think everybody has a moral obligation to hold to the opinion that women and girls should be able to do what they want with their bodies as it relates to an abortion. I'm not over here telling women what they can or can't do. I'm over here telling the men that they should agree with the women doing what they want. That's all. It's very simple.
Okay, thank you so much.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Also, this is also like worth saying. The reason why a lot of women say, right, a lot of girls say, well, why are there a lot of, let me restart. I'm yapping. Sorry guys, I'm kind of tired today. The reason why a lot of women and girls say that men shouldn't have an opinion on abortion is because they know that either A, that man is really like uneducated about the subject matter, or B, they know that if that man were in their shoes, then they would be okay with abortion. Those are like the two really big reasons why women and girls say, oh, if you're a man, you shouldn't have an opinion. Okay. But I'd say like typically like those two reasons don't apply to men who are pro-choice. All right. Because like, what are they saying? Oh, if I was a woman, I'd be pro-life. Okay. Well, that second reason obviously doesn't apply. And that first reason, is it possible to be uneducated and be pro-choice? Sure. But I mean, you're still getting the right conclusion from the wrong math. And not to mention, of course, that inevitably, right, the goal of like the advocacy of like saying men shouldn't be allowed to engage in the conversation of abortion, to take away rights from women, is to achieve the end goal of, women having more rights. Okay, well, that's also like what I do. I also try to achieve that end goal of women having more rights. Or maybe like another reason why women and girls say that is so men aren't controlling what they can or can't do. And when a man argues a pro-life position, they are controlling what they can or can't do. Okay, well, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not saying that women ought do this or ought do that. I'm just saying that women should have the availability and the option and the will to be able to do this or to do that. Welcome into Sport Trump.
We are Charlie Kirk.
Oh, man, butchered. Really butchered that Kirk. Ugh. Yikes.
No.
Hey, welcome into Sport Trump.
Yes.
How old are you?
19.
What year are you born in?
I don't know.
All right. Bands. Over on Super Chat, thank you so much, Met, for the 10 Canadian dollars. Once again, Matt, I do really appreciate you for the 10 Canadian dollars and the description of how Quebec is pronounced. Yeah, I guess that's just something I've never known. It's probably good that now I know how to pronounce it because we have a pretty large Canadian audience. Fun fact, we have a super large Canadian audience. I have so many Canadian dollars in my PayPal account balance. Hi, welcome into Sport Trump.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm doing this for more. We are Charlie.
Guys, only opposite side of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. I know that you guys think like this singing is funny, but it really does kind of delay the stream. Riley, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Says, fuck that last dude. He was a racist pig. P.S. The cancer's getting better. Yeah, bro, that last guy was a racist pig. And I'm really happy to hear that, Riley. I'm happy that the cancer's getting better. I hope that you're able to make a full recovery soon. Daniel, thank you for the $15 on Venmo. Let's get 150 Daniel W's. Daniel with the 15 says you should have a Fortnite skin high key. Also keep the good work against people who clearly lack intelligence. I don't think I should have a Fortnite skin. I don't know about that. That's not me. Alana, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo as well. He says, as a Christian throughout my life, I'm also disgusted by the current representation of the church. Absolutely. That's good. That means that you're a real Christian. Mac, thank you for the $10, who says, I just wanted to say thank you for what you do. Well, thank you, Mac. Over on PayPal, Miss Stephanie, thank you so much for the $30. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are awesome. Let's get 300 Stephanie W's in that chat. Genuinely, thank you from the bottom of my heart. That is so much love. All the love in the world to you, Stephanie. Stephanie with a 30 says, hey, D, not sure if you saw my donor earlier, but I just wanted to thank you for making my grief easier. Recently, my grandfather was diagnosed with cancer and doesn't have much left with us before he passes on. Thank you for your streams. They really help so many people. I'm so sorry to hear that, Stephanie. I just went to the memorial service of my grandma yesterday who died from cancer. It is a really hard thing to deal with. I wish the very best to you and the very best to your family. If I was a prayer, then you'd be in my prayers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome in, Pan. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay, and what year were you born in?
04.
What month?
September.
What day?
The 1st.
We have the same birthday. Hilarious. Why do you support Trump?
Well, I am very much just a Republican, and I do think that a lot of my values have aligned with what he campaigned for. So I'm not just a Trump supporter, but I am a very far-right conservative.
Yikes. I'm a far-right conservative, says the woman on a social media platform in which she could only share her voice on because of the progressives who opposed the far-right conservatives that said for generations women shouldn't be able to report rape in marriage, shouldn't be able to start a business, open a bank account, speak on the mic, and all they're good for is staying at home, cook, cleaning, and raising the kids. I don't think you're as far-right as you are. As you claim you
would
are.
say I'm very far-right. I stay home with my child, and
Stay home with your child.
I don't have a job.
Okay. Listen, being unemployed isn't far right. It's just lazy. I'm just kidding. If you have a child, I get it. That was just a dig. Listen, there's many different lifestyles that people can choose to live. Okay? Like staying at home to raise your children while your husband goes out and works. That's one of them. It's not far right to say that that is the relationship dynamic that you prefer. No. What's far right to say is that is not only the relationship dynamic that all women and men should prefer, but also the only one that works. All right?
I do not think
it's
that
more
at all.
so it's more so about saying that relationship dynamic should exist as a prescriptive gender norm on all women.
I think all women should be able to choose whether they want to raise children and stay home. But I do believe that a lot of my political beliefs are far right.
Like what?
And I believe that we have the right to bear arms. I believe in the Constitution.
Okay, well, that's actually not far right. That's far left. Because right now the right doesn't believe in the Constitution in the slightest. I mean, Donald Trump has launched an attack, an assault on our Constitution. He's either infringed on or threatened to infringe on the first article, the second article, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the 10th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, and the 23rd Amendment? Yeah. On top of straight up calling for the abolition of the Constitution in a post on Truth Social in December of 2022 where he said, we just need to get rid of all of its rules, regulations, and articles.
Okay.
By the way, that was like a super quick overview. Ask me for the specifics on any of those articles, amendments, or posts that I just enumerated, and I'll happily share the specifics with you.
I really wanted to talk to you about what you were bringing up with the Charlie guy. I don't think he did a really good job explaining his point of view.
Was he the one who
about
screamed
the
the
USA
N-word?
ID?
Or was
No,
talking
it was before that.
about
The USA ID.
Okay.
So
You went on pause. I can't hear you.
you had brought up.
Okay, I want to clarify this. When you can't see me, we can't hear you. So anything that you just said, we didn't hear it.
Okay, sorry. I went and looked at the website that you had mentioned.
Mm-hmm. The Lancet?
And not only did Donald Trump cut funding, multiple other countries cut funding as well. So why is it just Trump's fault for all of those, 14.9 million that are dying in other countries?
You're saying that multiple other countries got funding. So the USAID, that is the United States Agency for International Development. That is an agency of our federal government. So other countries can't cut the funding from our entities, our agencies.
So we cut funding on that, but other countries were also giving funding, not in the USAID. But
Okay,
on
so
the same,
you're basically saying that there's other countries that have done the same thing as Trump?
yes. So why is it bad on him when not only the UK, Canada, and Germany also cut funding? Trump
So
did as well.
it'd also be bad on them too. This is kind of one of those scenarios where you're trying to argue, well, if my friend walks off the building first, then I'm justified in following in his footsteps and jumping second. No, not at all. Just because other people do bad things doesn't mean that you're justified in doing them yourself.
But it's not solely on Trump for those
the cuts for the cuts to USAID are solely on Trump. Just like the cuts to Canada AID are solely on Canada. The cuts to UK AID are solely on the UK.
Yes. But if you're saying that he is responsible for 14 million people dying, he is not solely responsible.
Are you saying
So
that
that
the study?
would be cut
Are you saying that
down.
the study from the Lancet doesn't just evaluate USAID but also funding from other countries?
So I went and researched more and pulled up more websites. And not only did Trump cut funding in countries like South Africa, other countries also pulled back their funding.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's what this study from the Lancet is evaluating. I mean, you could just read it. Like, it clearly says, and I quote, that the cuts specifically done to USAID are what is leading to, or I guess is what is expected to lead to 14 million deaths over the course of the next 4 years. It's not evaluating the cuts from any of these other agencies from other countries, right? Like, what we'd say here is that maybe if we were to also consider the cuts from Canada, the UK, Spain, so on and so forth, that we would go from an additional 14 million preventable deaths over the next 4 years to maybe like 30 million preventable deaths over the course of the next 4 years. Why do they always do that, bro? Okay, they try to make an argument. The argument fails, then they leave. Okay, they try to make an argument. The argument fails, then they leave. Okay, they try to make an argument. And then it goes on repeat again. And then all of a sudden, I've been doing it for like 2.5 years, every day for 4 hours, and I'm starting to lose my mind. Age.
18.
Don't believe you. Holy shit. Wow, you tried though, dude. Listen, I remember when I was a little fetus, I would try to convince people that I was 18 when I had to. Like, for instance, calling PayPal about a PayPal account that I had at the time. And I tried to do like the voice deepener for a while to say, I'm 18. But that really didn't work. So then I actually started to make it a little bit higher. And I just like pretended like I was, I don't know what I was going for, like a woman, for instance. And that didn't work either. Just give it up, little bro. Wait until you're of age. You shouldn't be, talking about politics at 10 years old either. Hey, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Hi, Dean. Hi.
Okay, yeah. Fakest Southern accent ever. Holy fucking shit. You are terrible at that. Move it on. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. By the way, if you want to support me, if you want to support the live stream, if you want to get a message across to me, you could find my Venmo and my PayPal and the link tree in my bio on TikTok, pin message on that YouTube stream, and the ad's right there. Dean Withers without the Ian Withers. Best way to support what we do to continue to allow us to be able to do it for 4 hours a day, 7 days a week. Let's go to get the next guest connected. All right. Also, listen, you guys have been getting out of hand. I saw somebody say that, like, I'm a Holocaust denier secretly because I'm a grifter. I understand, that there's a lot of children and there's a lot of morons that like to make the argument that it's all fake and I'm actually on the right and I'm a grifter, but I just, thought I'd put it out there. I don't deny the Holocaust,
Wait, oh my.
That's a child. It's worth, it's just worth making it clear. It's worth making it clear. I'm not a Holocaust denier, everybody. Don't worry. I'm not a secret Nazi arguing that women and black and brown people should have rights for money. I promise, everyone. I promise. Hey, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Hi there. Okay, I'm 18.
I'm going to take that as a no, folks. We're going to go out and go on a little bit of a banning spree in that queue. We're going to be banning people who aren't Trump supporters, who are trolls, just because I want to try to consolidate us down to just American adults that support Trump as president. Momo, banned. Secret, banned. Blotched Blonde, you were banned. Abigail, you were banned. Trump for Life Zero, you were banned. Turtle, you were banned. Gray, you are banned. Like actually banning these accounts. Wow. Diana, you were banned. J2 banned. Iris banned. Pete banned. Zora banned. Zalia banned. Molly banned. Kai banned. Only up inside of that queue if you are an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Everybody, we're banning everybody who isn't. I have a team of moderators. They're helping me ban everybody inside of that queue who's not an American adult that supports Trump as president. Just because we're looking for debates, folks. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump? Banned. That's fine. Let's go to get that next guest connected to the live stream right now. Let's go to get that next guest connected to the live stream right now. I will repeat. We are banning people who break the rules. We are banning people who break the rules. All right. Let's go to get that next guest connected. This little fella down here had something interesting to say in the chat. We got Robert connecting to the live stream. Hopefully he doesn't run away. I think he is. I think he's running. Everybody. I think Robert is running. In the chat, I swear to you, just like 2 seconds ago, he said, Dean takes estrogen. Bro, why'd you self-dunk like that? You just see a well-composed, intelligent man, and you're like, oh, they're basically a woman. Listen, Robert, men are not Neanderthals. We do not live in caves. We can be well composed and intelligent too. How incredibly sexist that was. 2 men. For you to say that you're not a man if you're well composed and intelligent. Fuck you, Robert. Welcome in, Smoky Pops. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
All right, and you're a Trump supporter. Yikes, dude. Okay. Give me like 2 seconds here to thank a couple people, then the mic and the floor will be yours. Francesca, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. He says, hey, Dean, thank you for all that you do. You give Gen X hope for real. Love listening every day. Well, thank you, Francesca. Do you have a favorite Radiohead song? I do. Exit Music is my favorite. Thank you for the $10. Emily, I'm just going to call you A. Thank you so much for the $15 over on PayPal. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Emily with the 15 says, I respect your rules, so I've never joined, but would you please put a Scandinavian up? So quote unquote, we've gained respect from other countries. Crowd can shut up. Well, listen, Emily, they're going to say it nonetheless. They've always said it, even when it is certainly not true. And that's because Trump supporters don't really track reality, but I admire your attempts to change their minds. Thank you for the $15, Emily. And then, dude, Bala, thank you so much for the $50 over on PayPal. Thank you so much, Bala. That is B-A-L-L-A. I want to see 500 Bala W's in that chat. Genuinely, thank you for the support. That means so much to me. That means a lot. And thank you not just for the donation, but also for the incredibly kind words. Bala with the 50 says, I just want to say that your wardrobe might be one of the greatest I've ever seen. Quite frankly, I don't think anybody picks out shirts as good as you. I think that's false. I have like a couple shirts I just kind of put on repeat, so that I don't have to do, or I don't like fucking sweat through them. That's my issue. I sweat a lot, so I always have to wear like super, like dark shirts so you can't see it. And I only have like a couple black shirts, so my wardrobe's not even that not big. It's not that big or that nice for these streams, but I appreciate you for the kind words nonetheless. Tyler, thank you for the $5 as well over on PayPal. And Adam, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. Who says, what do you think of Thomas Massey? I disagree with him 92% of the time, but the 8% of the time I do agree with him. It's on really good things. Go ahead and take it away, Smoky Pops. Tell us why you support Trump.
I'd say I support Trump for 2 reasons. I think first, I appreciated how he packed the Supreme Court with conservative justices. I think that's important for the law in our country. And then second, I support Trump because I'm a Republican. I didn't like the views of the Democrats.
Okay, so you want to like hold good, strong law. Yeah, listen, my friend. If you cared about this country's law, you would never support Trump. All right? I mean, he was able to now bar the federal government from investigating him, his family members, or his companies ever again up until this point in their lives for any tax fraud committed. We live under a new system of justice because of him. Every day he does something new that's illegal, regardless if it's putting his name on the Kennedy Center, try to install fake votes for himself in the 2020 election, or asking the head of the DOJ to falsely announce widespread election fraud when they have no evidence of it. On top of his personal 34 felony convictions, the civil court that held him liable for raping a woman. He's the worst thing that happened to the law in modern American history. Not to mention his great assaults, threats to assault, or direct attacks on the Constitution, infringed on the 14th Amendment, infringed on the 10th Amendment, threatened to infringe on the 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 23rd. And this is all in reference to him stating in 2022 that he thinks we should just get rid of the Constitution and abolish it as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I disagree with him on those points, but I think the fundamental reason why I supported him in 2016 to 2020, and then for this upcoming election, is because he kept the majority of the Supreme Court conservative, and I think that's
so you're just like
really
a one-issue
important.
voter. Like, you don't care he's like
Yeah,
low
pretty
key,
much.
like
No,
trying to like abolish the Constitution. You don't care that he's
absolutely
like
don't.
absolutely like destroying the economy. You don't care that, you know, he's like cutting USAID that's expected to kill 14 million people in the course of the next 4 years. You don't care that he's like defending the execution of like American citizens and like broad daylight on the streets of this country, like Alex Preddy. You don't care that he raped a woman and now we have a rapist as president. You don't care that he started a new war of choice overseas. You don't care that that caused the largest monthly increase in the price of gas since the Vietnam War, and Americans are struggling. All you care about is him nominating conservative justices?
Well, I think, once again, I mean, the Supreme Court decides legal issues that affect the entire country. I think they set the course of law, from a top-down approach. But you know, what I will say with respect to the other things that Trump has done, which obviously isn't as great, is...
I mean, they've even made
I'd
rulings
rather
against
have-
him. They've decided that his tariffs were unconstitutional. So if you support the judgment of the Supreme Court, then you don't support the judgment of Donald Trump because it contradicted
Well, no,
that of the Supreme Court.
Well, I think there's a difference between supporting Trump and his policies and then supporting Trump and his legal opinions.
Well,
Because
that would be a
obviously the
legal
way-
opinion, right? When he imposed those tariffs, it was his legal opinion that they were legal, yet it was the legal opinion of the Supreme Court that they were illegal. So who's right? Who's wrong? Who do you trust more?
Well, first off, I trust the Supreme Court, and I think
Okay, so
Trump
then
does
you
as
don't
well.
trust Donald Trump's legal opinion.
That's right. I don't agree with the legal opinion of his administration in that case.
Damn. Okay, and I mean, he also says that there are like many members of like the Supreme Court are like compromised, that they're being paid for by foreign lobbyists and entities in other countries, and like including some of his own nominees, like Amy Coney Barrett.
Right, but I think the point is not to question the Supreme Court's decisions as political. They're legal. They're legal decisions. I mean, they just follow the law.
So then you
Now, I
really don't.
understand
Then
there
you
are
really.
allegations
Then you
against
really don't. Then you really don't support Trump because he doesn't think that there's anything political about SCOTUS decisions. He's been railing hard since the beginning of his second administration that the children born to undocumented immigrants on American soil do not have a claim to birthright citizenship, and in fact, we should just get rid of birthright citizenship as a whole. But I mean, it is the legal opinion of the Supreme Court throughout a handful of cases, like U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark or Plyer v. Doe, that they absolutely do have birthright citizenship. I mean, like literally every word that leaves your mouth is just yet another reason why you, in accordance with your values, shouldn't support Trump as president.
Once again, I think there's a difference between supporting the party and supporting the president, right?
No, everything that I've said is not about the party; it's about the president.
Right, but I mean, if we had a Democrat in office, I think we would be a lot worse off because we'd be
How so?
heading in a direction. How so?
Yeah, could you be specific? Like, how would America be worse off today if Kamala Harris was elected?
I mean, I think once. Well, first off, I don't even think Kamala should be running.
Why?
Or at least she shouldn't have been running against Trump.
Why?
Because the way the DNC chose their nominee was completely undemocratic.
Okay, so there's something anti-democratic about the DNC, right? Choosing her to be the nominee without the voice and the vote and the approval of we the people. Well, not necessarily. When the president steps up, when the president steps down, the vice president steps up, and that's exactly what she did. Not to mention that her nomination did follow the binding rules of the DNC and the RNC, by the way, because she was voted in by over half of the delegates. If you just personally disagreed that it was only the delegates who voted, not the people who voted for the delegates, well, that's because it was last minute. And if you want to know who's to blame for that decision being last minute, it's Biden, not her. So maybe this is a reason why you disagree with some of the decisions that Biden has made, but definitely nothing bad about Kamala Harris.
I mean, but like Kamala Harris doesn't really have anything on her track record during the Biden administration. Right? If we're talking about the Biden administration,
you're just ignorant.
Well, that's not true. I mean, I keep up with modern day politics, and
she was one of the most successful VPs in history. Not only did she pass more tie-breaking votes than any other vice president in American history, but she also worked alongside Biden to pass some of the most monumental policy in modern American history, like the Chips and Science Act, the Infrastructure Bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, the PACT Act, and many more.
I mean, look, when it comes to her voting as the Senate president, first of all, I don't even think that should be allowed, right? I think it's unconstitutional. Or it breaks the value of separation of powers when you have a vice president that's voting in Congress, a completely separate branch of government.
Okay, well, the Supreme Court that you support disagrees with you. But that's not the question that I asked you, nor was that the point I was getting at. What I was getting at is that you're absolutely wrong when you said that she was in a position where she had like no accomplishments. She did nothing under Biden. She did more under Biden than Donald Trump has done in his first term or Donald Trump's second term. Now, you made a claim that you still haven't answered to. You said that if she was elected, our country would have been worse off today. What's the argument for that? Give me the argument. In what specific ways would our country be worse off today if Trump lost the election?
I think we'd see a bigger government which impedes on federalism. I think that there are a lot of issues with the way that...
Specifically, how would we see a bigger government?
Well, one, I think the administrative state would be expanded, right? I mean, under Biden, that's what they were attempting to do. They were attempting to expand, the rules and regulations that were being passed by the administrative state. And I think the whole...
Could you be specific?
Sure. Like, I mean, you can even look at how this court has ruled in cases regarding the administrative agencies and Biden administration decisions, right? Like
I'm asking you for like specific decisions.
Okay. West Virginia versus EPA, Loper Bright Enterprises, Vermondo. I mean, these are all cases where a Biden administration, administrative
You're not giving me any specific, like you're like rattling off court decisions. Okay. Court decisions that aren't made by the administration, court decisions that are ushered by judges.
Right. Well,
but you're not getting me any closer.
Oh,
also, wait, remember when you said that you think it's unconstitutional for the vice president to preside over the Senate?
I didn't say it was unconstitutional. I said I think it violates separation of powers. That's my personal opinion, though.
Okay, but you agree that it's not unconstitutional?
I agree it's not unconstitutional.
Right, because of Article 1, Section 3, Clause 4, that expressly says that the Vice President of the United States shall be President of the Senate.
I said I didn't like it. I didn't say anything with respect to it.
Wait, so you don't like the Constitution?
I don't like that aspect of I don't like that provision in the Constitution.
I think I remember you saying it was unconstitutional. But anyways, so yeah, your claim that we would be worse off today because our government would be larger is just complete fucking bullshit. I feel like anybody with a brain knows this. Donald Trump and his unitary executive theory go fucking crazy. Okay, he hires and fires members of his cabinet on a whim because they are either going to do what he wants them to do or they're going to get kicked to the curb. He has complete control over the DOJ. I mean, he sued himself, then had his current acting AG, who upon his inauguration said that he quote unquote is in love with Trump, issue a ruling that now the federal government can investigate the president for tax fraud. In 2020, he absolutely tried to expand the size of the government so much so that the government could just change the outcomes of elections by installing fake votes for himself in Congress. I mean, we see massive examples of monumental government overreach in the sense of deporting undocumented immigrants without due process. Okay, we saw 300 Venezuelan immigrants deported to CICA in El Salvador with no day in court, no expedited removal, which led to a federal judge ruling that they were removed illegally. And then the Trump administration said, okay, we know, but we don't care. Same thing with Abrigo Garcia's deportation. They illegally deported Abrigo Garcia, where he was then tortured and beaten in CICA. When the courts ruled that he had to come back, they said, no, he doesn't. We're not going to bring him back until they were finally forced to by the Supreme Court. Like, if you want to, like, reject government overreach if you want to reject the consolidation of power, if you want to promote democracy, if you want to promote a smaller government, if you want to promote co-equal branches of our federal government, then don't support Trump. The last point that I'll make here, just to really drive my argument home, would also be within Donald Trump's control of the FCC and Brendan Carr. I mean, they are saying verbatim explicitly that if you negatively report on Donald Trump's war in Iran, then we are going to take and revoke your media license away from you. In the Pentagon, they instituted an unconstitutional press agreement that, for a time being before it was overruled, bound the press to share any and all material that they wanted to share publicly with the Pentagon before they released it so they could revise it. Okay? We just heard from an ex-journalist at CBS that Barry Weiss, the current chair of CBS, is working with Trump and is inserting false information into political reporting to stay in his good favor. On top of him also saying that it should just be illegal to criticize him in the media. Of course, the largest modern day expansion of the size of our government is from Trump.
Okay, I'll make two responses to that. First off, with respect to the unitary executive theory, there's a difference between the unitary executive theory, which basically is just a theory that says the president has all of the executive power, and federal overreach. When we're talking about the unitary executive, all that means is that Trump is taking more power for himself from the executive branch, which is the branch he already runs. And the second point I'll make is that the expansion of our administrative state has been largely the fault of liberals, right? Of liberals that were in Congress.
So you're just going to completely ignore him, literally,
like
like illegally deporting people, no due process. You're going to ignore the war crimes in the South Caribbean.
Well, look,
you're going to ignore the attacks on the press and the media. You're going to ignore all of that. You're going to ignore ICE agents of the federal government executing citizens illegally. Okay. And then having, once again, the federal government overreach by denying local prosecutors access to that evidence? Is that, yes or no, is that federal overreach?
No, I think that's an example of federalism in play.
So that's so I just want to clarify. It is not federal overreach for an agent of the federal government to murder a citizen and then to be protected by the federal government, by then having that federal government illegally deny access to the evidence, okay, on behest of local investigators. That's not federal overreach. Okay, next question. Is it federal overreach, okay, for the executive branch of our government to ignore the law passed by the legislative branch of our government by then breaking the law and refusing to release all the Epstein files?
No.
Okay.
May
all
I
right.
explain?
Right. So now I want you to give me an example of federal overreach and the increase in the size of the administrative state by the Biden-Harris administration. And I want you to be very clear with the example just so we could see what you're talking about. Because I want to know what you think is an example of federal overreach, what you think is an expansion of the administrative state.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be able to just point you like a very specific instance, but I can give you a general overview.
No, I don't want a general overview. I want a specific scenario because you're over here whining saying that, well, the reason why you're a Trump supporter, even though he's a rapist, even though he started this war overseas, even though he's like tanking the economy, even though he wants to disenfranchise and get rid of the Constitution, is because the Democrats, okay, expand the size of the federal government. They expand the size of the administrative state. And then you made all these wild accusations about how that's the only thing that happened under Biden and Harris. And that's why it would be like a national emergency if Harris was president today. But then you can't give one example of it?
Well, that's not true. All right. Trump, first of all, supports deregulation, deregulation of the administrative state. I mean, look at the executive order he passed at the beginning of this year, when he said that for every new regulation that an administrative agency passes, they have to get rid of 10. That's an example of Trump trying to diminish the power of the federal government.
That's a terrible argument. The reason why I say that's a terrible argument is not all regulation is bad. If you want to argue that Trump is reducing the size of the federal government by getting rid of regulation, well, then you're going to have to specify which regulations. Because there are many regulations that if the Trump administration were to get rid of them, would be a really bad thing.
Well, that's the way you might think, but I don't agree with that statement.
So do you think that all regulations are bad?
I don't think all regulations are bad.
Oh, okay, so then you don't disagree. There are some regulations that if Donald Trump were to get rid of them would be a really bad thing. Like deregulating the aviation industry, allowing people to fly commercial planes without like a day of training or without a commercial license. Deregulating IP and copyright laws. Deregulating certain regulations and requirements to ensure that if a company is going to operate and serve clean water to people's houses, that it has to meet specific requirements to prevent those people from dying. Deregulating, groceries and farming industries, allowing there just to be cow shit, in your meal now, because, well, there's nothing our government can do if a producer of meat were to just put cow shit in it. Deregulating labor and wages. All of a sudden, it's just illegal for 5-year-old children to work and make a penny a day because all regulations are bad. Clearly, many regulations are a really good thing. All right. So no, just saying, oh, well, he's getting rid of regulations. It will never be enough to say that therefore he's a good president. You have to point us towards the specific regulations and describe to us how it is a good thing that they're now gone.
Well, what I'll say about the regulations is I think it's better off for not the federal government to handle these issues, but for states, right? Like states have lost so much power to the federal government because of the fact.
You also don't agree with that in all scenarios.
Well, once again, it's supposed to be a healthy.
Do you think that the Constitution is a good thing?
I do.
Okay, so then you agree with some federal regulation.
Well, what does agreeing with the Constitution have to do with agreeing with all federal regulations?
Wait, no, because the Constitution is a federal regulation. Okay, so once again, this would be another example where you're going to have to point towards the specific regulations that he's relinquished back down to the state level in order to argue that what he's deregulating is a good thing.
All right, one example would be he's deregulating environmental protections, right? There has been so many disputes about the federal government regulating things that are in states, right? Like natural bodies of water, like land. And the federal government, in my opinion, shouldn't have the right to regulate those things.
Okay,
and
so we should just get rid of national parks.
Well, that's not true. I think there's a difference between federally protected land and land the federal government.
But that's a federal environmental regulation.
That's right.
Okay, so you don't disagree with all federal environmental regulations. So specifically, what federal environmental regulations did Donald Trump get rid of that you support, that makes you support him as president?
Well, I get rid of the fact that he's cutting those regulations. I don't have specific examples.
Oh, if you don't have a specific example, then you don't have an argument, because what if he's cutting national parks? What if he's cutting BLM? Well, then you wouldn't agree with it. You disagree with it. That's why you have to provide the specific, federal environmental regulations that he's cutting in order to even know in the first place if it is a good thing or not a good thing, because we've already clearly affirmed that you think some federal environmental regulations are a good thing.
Right, and some is different than all. And you're spewing
But
out all
because
these
it's
what-ifs
some,
about-
you can't just say, but because it's some, you can't just say that by default, whenever he does it, even if you don't know precisely what he's doing, it's therefore a good thing. Think about it this way. Okay, I have 100 pieces of chocolate cake in front of me. Now, 30 of these pieces of chocolate cake, the icing's not icing at all. It's just human feces. Yikes, that'd be pretty bad. But the other 70, the icing's real icing. Okay, it's great. Yummy, right? Well, if I were just to randomly grab one of these cakes and make you eat it, can you say that by default, without knowing if it was a shit cake or an iced cake, that is a good thing? No, you can't. Okay, it would be a very bad thing if it was a shit cake. It would be a very good thing if it was a cake with icing. Therefore, you would need to know the specifics of what piece of cake I'm giving you in order to determine if that is a good piece of cake, right?
Right, but then I think the burden would be
on
you.
So then when we look at
of
the federal environmental regulations, you've already agreed that some of those are like, the shit cakes that you want to get rid of. Meanwhile, you've agreed that the other ones are like the cakes with icing on them that you want to keep, like BLM and national parks. So you can't just say that whenever he gets rid of any federal environmental regulation, that it is, good thing by default because you're just going to pre-assume that what he got rid of was one of those metaphorical shit cakes. No, because it could be one of the cakes with icing on it that tastes good. So that's why I need you to specify which specific federal environmental regulations Donald Trump has gotten rid of in order to appropriately argue that it's a good thing he axed it.
Okay, well then, if you think that that him removing federal regulations, do you think that's a bad thing?
Once again, as I've been telling you this whole time, it's going to depend on the regulation that he removes, which is why I have asked you 3 trillion times to name the specific regulation.
Okay, and I told you every time in response to that, I don't have a specific example. And
then you don't have an argument.
Right, well, I don't think you have an argument either, because frankly, you haven't
I'm not
told
giving
me
an
why-
argument. I'm giving a counter argument. And I do have a counter argument because it seems to be the case that my counter argument just got you to concede that your position failed because you said, and I quote, "I don't think you have an argument either." The word either there means that it starts with you and ends with me. Well, okay. Thank you for conceding.
I don't know what else to talk about.
Well, most predominantly the fact that you don't really have any good reason to support Trump. I mean, you came up here, you tried to pseudo-intellectual the hell out of me. Deploying concepts such as wanting to reduce the size of the administrative state of our federal government, federal overreach, all these things, making baseless, wild accusations against Democrats while saying that the right and the Trump administration are making these things smaller. But at the end of the day, when we actually go into, the nitty-gritty here, the nuance, we see that there is none, and it's all just kind of words.
Look, obviously, I don't agree with that, but we can agree to disagree. It was great talking to you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for
It was
coming up,
fun.
and I guess thank you for being respectful to me. But this isn't one of those agree to disagree moments, because if you were right and I was wrong and you did have the nuance, then you'd be able to name the regulations that he's cutting to reduce the size of the administrative state that makes you support him, but you can't. Let's go to move on to the next guest. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could do your very best to follow the rules of the live stream. Only hop inside of the queue of your MAGA. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? Hello. Andrew.
Hello.
Hi, how do you?
I am 18.
Yeah, like literally the worst fake Southern accent I've ever heard. You should be embarrassed. This guy's name, he says, "Dean, please let me on. I'm a major in political justice and I think I could change your mind." I invited you, Jack. See if he joins. Yo! Popper is not your name. Pooper. What a name. Pooper. Thank you so much for the $100 over on YouTube Super Chat. First and foremost, what a fucking name. Second of all, thank you so much for that love and support. Can we please get some W poop in that comment section? Drop a little shit emoji. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. That is...
Oh, Dean, I love you.
Back to Poop. Poop, thank you for the $100 over on Super Chat. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. You're very kind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A billion times over. That is a shit ton of money that I don't deserve a penny of. Poop with the $100 says, "Been a supporter since last year. I would love to see you debate Trump on national television." Oh, me too. Yeah, listen, it'll never happen. But, we could dream, right? We could dream. We could dream about it happening. I would love the opportunity to talk to Donald Trump, to conduct a little interview, to start a little conversation. It'll never happen, though, unfortunately. Thank you for the $100 to the Poop. Seriously, I'm trying to see some massive love for Poop down below in that comment section, please and thank you. We all love Pooper. We all love the Poopy. Seriously though, consider changing your name. Bryn, do you support Trump?
We are Charlie Kirk.
You guys fucking suck. Atomic Bomb, do you support Trump?
No, but my father does. Do you mind talking to him?
Too young. I'm sorry. If you were like 16, I'd be down and I'd just put a little thing on the phone screen that says don't DM this person. But honestly, when the account holder is under 16, I don't even do it then. Let's go and get that next guest connected to the live stream. Jose, thank you so much for the $50 over on Super Chat. I really appreciate you. Let's get 500 Jose W's down below in that comment section. Thank you. 500 Jose W's. I appreciate you. You already know that, though. Jose with the 50 says, no, leaving it up to the states got us chattel slavery, Jim Crow, voting rights violations, etc. Some things like air do not respect state boundaries. This is why we need federal air regulations. MAGA is so simplistic in their analysis. I could not agree with you more. 110% Jose. Listen, my whole thing is just about making the material conditions better for the most people as possible. And low-key, that means W federalism. Welcome into
Sweet Cheeks. You want to come over after dinner?
Yeah, you're really bored. Mary, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo. Thank you. Mary, I'll take a look at that link. I hope that you're doing well today. Thank you so much for the love, though. Shout out to Mary down below for the 25. Same thing to Fallon. Thank you for the $20. Who says, longtime watcher. I'm trying to get by day to get my MAGA family members to watch your lives. Oh, that's awesome, Fallon. You know what? I love to debate them. You already know that, though. You should try to get him on the mic. Thank you for the $20, Fallon. Azalea, welcome into Sport Trump.
Hold on.
Nope. Let's go to get the next guest connected right now. Once again, shout out to Mary and Fallon for the $25 donation and the $20 donation. I'm very, very grateful. Same thing to Madison. Thank you for the $15. Who says, hey, Dean, I was wondering if you've heard about the teenagers detained in Central Illinois by ICE after a traffic stop. No, I haven't heard about that specific case, but it happens all the time, and I fucking hate it. It is so terrible. Emma, thank you for the 50 cents. Is this the right Venmo? It sure is. Abby, thank you for the $10. Who says, yeah, thank you for the $10, Abby. Alana, thank you for the $10 as well. I appreciate you. And then Brianna, thank you for the $10. Who says, I sent a donation yesterday as you were getting off. I'm so sorry for your loss, Dean, and I hope your grandma's funeral was beautiful. It was. Yeah, I appreciate you for the $10. Hey, welcome into Sport Trump.
We are Charlie Kirk.
I guess the new hot thing is to embarrass the hell out of yourself. Don't know why, no clue. Yo, Adam, thank you for the. Oh, I already did thank Adam. Who's next? Amanda, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. Francesca, I thanked you earlier, but I'll thank you again. Thank you for the $10. Thank you for the $10 on PayPal. He says, sending again, because as an Australian who cares about geopolitical issues, I'm proud to contribute to somebody I watch every morning who's educating people around the world on the right side of history. Love you, Dean. Love you too. Thank you so much, for the $10. I know that you're always hanging out with us in here. Just know that I really appreciate you, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the stream. Liv, thank you. Zachary, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. He says, next time Liv comes up, ask her why she was fantasizing about putting you in a cage on her live the other day. Jesus Christ, you. Conrad, thank you so much for the $50 donation on PayPal. That's fucking wild, man. Thank you, Conrad. That is CONRAD. Thank you so much. Conrad with the $50 says, for your mental health. Well, I appreciate you, Conrad. Honestly, right now it's doing all right. Yeah, I appreciate you, Conrad. That's very kind of you. $50 goes a long way where I live. I'm very grateful for your love and support, brother. Let's get 500 Conrad W's down below in that chat. Same thing to you, Britton. Britin. Thank you for the $25. Britton didn't attach a message to the love. Just send it right on through. I appreciate you, Britton. Cully, thank you for the $5. Stefan, thank you for the $10. Who says it feels like the MAGA hid in their mom's basement during Biden's admin and only came out last year. Yeah, they were really quiet when we had a Democratic president doing great things, right? Yeah, they were hiding in their mom's basements. And then one last one for now. Lucky Lazy. Thank you for the $20 donation on PayPal. Thank you so much for that support. And I'm going to go to, I read your message. I'm going to keep it to myself just so we can hop into this next debate. But know that I really appreciate you. 200 Lazy W's. Bill, do you support Trump?
Dean, what is up?
Moving on to the next guest, we got Bando connecting to the live stream, folks. We are about to start a max exodus of all of the non-Trump supporters in the queue again. If we get another 3 trolls in a row, we're going to start banning everybody who's not a Trump supporter inside of that queue. So far today, we've banned upwards of 100 people. Bando, do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
Hold on. 17, sir.
Okay. Well, if you read the rules in the middle of the phone screen, it says you got to be 18 plus. Just look out for that in the future. Cass, thank you for the $20 on PayPal. He says, I love your debate. Stay blessed. Well, thank you, Cass. I hope that you were enjoying today's stream. I don't know. Today's stream is a little bit annoying, if that makes any sense. I feel like every single person who has joined our live stream today has been really annoying, but I appreciate you for the $20. Let's get 200 cast W's down below. Rev, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Huh?
Are you MAGA? Do you support Trump as president?
Who's the president?
All right. You clearly do not possess the necessary pre-qualifiers to be on my live stream. One of the necessary pre-qualifications to be on my live is definitely knowing who's president. Welcome in. Do you support Trump, Angel? All right. Angel says goodbye. I think that's 3 people in a row. Oh, no. We'll give it one more. After this next guest, we're going to start banning everybody who's not MAGA. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? All right. There it is. All right. Let's go ahead and lock in. Take a look at that queue. Start banning people who don't support Trump. A, you are banned. Fluffer, you are banned. Let's see. You're Zach. You're banned. Little Spoon, you're banned. Fish, you're banned. Junie, you were banned. Shelby, you're banned. And Kiara, you're banned. My mods in the background are going to be banning a bunch of others inside of the queue who aren't Trump supporters as this next conversation unfolds. Hey, welcome in, man. How old are you?
I am 20.
Okay. What month were you born in?
I am born in September 06.
And you said that you're almost 20?
Almost. September 06. Do the math.
But you didn't say that at the beginning.
Well, September 06.
I mean, you are almost 20. I mean, no, I know how to do the math. I'm just saying it's weird that you said 20 and then you want to say almost. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. Do you support Trump?
I do support Trump in many ways.
Okay. So why do you support Trump as president?
Well, I love you, Jesus. I love you, Jesus.
Dude. I need to not give the trolls any reaction, but sometimes they be doing some funny shit. So it's I can't stop myself from laughing. But no, stop it. You're banned. We're gonna get that next guest connected. Zach, do you support Trump? Zach Hart, buddy, you here?
Yes, sir.
Are you a Trump supporter?
My bad. Give me 1 second.
Why does everybody just all of a sudden have something major to do that they have to completely drop their phone?
No, I had a fan running. I didn't want it to be your...
Oh, no worries. No worries. So, sir, do you support Trump?
I used to, I'll be honest, but now I completely disagree with the idea of political parties.
Okay. Very interesting, Zach. Very interesting. You know what? For what it's worth, me too. I don't think that political parties are generally a good thing because it promotes tribalism. And the promotion of tribalism is good for those in power because it means that they could continue to get people's votes.
We are Charlie Kirk.
Even when they're not acting in the interest of the people. But, it's not really good for we the people. But I don't think the solution is to abolish parties, but probably just introduce rank-based votes in all 50 states. So then there could be more than 2 major parties. Hey, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
19.
What year were you born in?
07.
Okay, and is your name pronounced Jesus or Jesus?
Jesus.
All right. Jesus, man, pretty embarrassing. Trump is a lousy president. You shouldn't support him. Ew.
I support him because one time he said, "We are Charlie Kirk."
Moving on to the next guest, folks. Only hop inside of the queue of your MAGA. We got Jack loading up in. It's unreal. Mass, thank you for the $13. Who says, I'm going to give you $1 for each troll. Mass with the 13 says, I'm going to give you $1 for each troll I hear. I just got on, so it's from here on out. Mask? Listen. I don't want you to go bankrupt, okay? I don't want you to go bankrupt. I really don't. Kiara, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
19.
All right, listen, I just have to
Don't
ask...
you dare kick me, Dean.
I just have to ask a couple very simple pre-qualification questions to make sure that, you're in the right place, you're following the rules, and you're not a troll. First question.
Well, of course.
Are we Charlie Kirk?
Why would I answer yes to that? We are Charlie Kirk!
Dude, it's brutal. It's actually brutal. And it's not even brutal because they're trolls and they prevent me from having debates. I'm kind of over that mental anguish. Like, whatever. You know, it's not in my control. What can I do about it? I'm a stoic. And I didn't know it. And I'm also a poet. Damn! No, but it's irritating and it's brutal because they can't fucking sing. They can't fucking sing. You guys are just embarrassing yourselves for like 2 seconds of clout in like the worst way possible. Like, you sound like shit, dude. You sound like shit. Let's go and get that next guest connected to the live stream. Only hop in that box if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump as president.
Computer, make this man gay and horny.
Moving on to the next guest. MAGA for Life is loading up in. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? What was that, bro? Was that like a fetus, like in womb, or like some like voice changer? like I'm sure there's like cameras, you know, like if you're a man in your 50s, you know about those prostate exams. They put a camera up you. I wonder if they got something similar, but it's a microphone for like pregnancies. And that was like fetus at 7 weeks gestation tuning into the live. Let's go to get that next guest connected right now. Please only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump as president. Welcome in, user. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
Are we Charlie Kirk?
No.
Okay. Good. Very good. What year are you born?
Are we Dean Withers?
No. What year are you born in?
2008.
What month?
June 27th.
Okay. Dude. Why do you support Trump?
Are you sure we're not Charlie Kirk?
Dude, shut the fuck up and give me an argument or get lost, kid. That's right. I told you.
Why
do
I
listen to
support
this
Trump?
jazz? What's the argument?
The argument is we are Charlie Kirk.
All right, guys. We are gonna go and end the live stream early if we continue to get the trolls. So I mean, hey, listen, if like you're like a troll and that's your goal, you know, I guess more power to you. If you just want us to get off air, but if you're just trolling because you think it's funny, but you actually do appreciate and enjoy what we do, I just recommend holding it off. I'm not gonna lie. You know, just kind of want some debates. If I'm not gonna get debates, I'm just gonna hop off. You know, it's not too deep.
Dean Withers is a manlet. Dean Withers is a manlet. Dean Withers is a manlet.
Okay. I would recommend at least... Okay, he crashed out there. There we go. It's fine. Let's go to get that next guest connected to the live stream right now. Hey, welcome into Sport Trump.
I do.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
Are you actually MAGA? You sound like it. I don't know. There's just like this MAGA cadence, this MAGA tone. I trust you. Okay, first question.
I'm glad you trust me.
There's 17,000 live viewers right now. Why do you think it takes me like 30 minutes to find an actual Trump supporter?
I think school's out for the summer, and I think a lot of kids are on their iPads. I think that's part of the reason.
You know what? You know, I was asking that question as like a dig, you know, to get at the conclusion that maybe like no one supports Trump, but that's actually a pretty fair response. You're right. Go ahead and take it away. Tell us why you support Trump, Liv.
I voted for him based on his policies and based on the things that he ran on, and I don't watch the news. I don't inundate myself with the news all the time, and I think based off of my day-to-day life that we're fine.
Okay, well, let's go through it. So the country's definitely not fine. Maybe you as an individual are okay. And we actually expect there to be many people, even in times of economic recess, that are doing just fine. For instance, there were people who made billions during the Great Depression. But the question is rather, is Donald Trump dictating and guiding the country in a positive direction as a whole? And the answer to that question is definitely no. Less jobs, higher inflation, lower GDP growth. Companies are going bankrupt at levels not seen since the Great Recession. Things are bad. Not to mention that I actually would think that the Trump administration is impacting your day-to-day life, unless you don't buy gas, unless you don't buy electricity, unless you don't buy groceries.
I buy all of those things.
Okay, well,
I
then he
pay
has
all of my
impacted your
bills.
day-to-day life because your bills have what? Gone up, right?
I mean, I've been paying bills for a long time and they fluctuate with every presidency. I don't see that as a Trump specific.
Well, you should. The reason why you should is because we could attribute his policy to causing the increases. Like the increase in the price of your gas, that's up because of his war in Iran. The increase in the price of your energy, that's up because he defunded a bunch of energy subsidies with the Big Beautiful Bill. The increase in the price of your groceries, that's also up because of the war in Iran. Increasing the price of oil doesn't just make your gas more expensive, but it makes the transportation costs of all goods, including groceries, more expensive. Not to mention that oil isn't the only thing that's blocked behind the Strait of Hormuz. You also got fertilizer, which is required to grow crops, which is now more expensive to buy, meaning that groceries are more expensive to produce. Like we could directly blame every single one of these things on Trump.
My costs are the same as they were under Obama. Gas is the same. I'm paying the same that I was then. So,
Really,
and I just don't watch the news 24/7 and waste my time with every little thing that Donald Trump does. I have bigger, more important things to do with my days. So, yeah.
Okay, so when were you paying the same amount of same for gas under Obama?
I mean, when he was president, I feel like the gas prices were pretty similar. They would fluctuate, they would go up and down, but I
Yeah.
remember paying $3-4 during his term.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily true. But even if it is true, I mean, I don't think that you'd be able to point out any action that Obama had engaged in that directly led to the increase in the price of gas, not like we can with Trump today. Also, the increase in the price of gas was a whole lot more gradual. And the reason why I bring that up is because, well, today under Trump, we saw the largest monthly increase in the price of gas since the Vietnam War. How about this? Do you have kids?
I don't.
Do you plan on having kids?
I actually am 3 months pregnant.
Okay, congratulations. Well, this is why you should concern yourself with politics, and it doesn't make you a loser to care. One of the big things in American politics at the moment would, of course, be women and girls' access to abortion. Now, not only could this impact your future child, given like God forbid, it's a girl that grows up, is essayed and impregnated. Well, in 10 over 50 states today, women and girls who are essayed and impregnated are denied access to
Why
abortions.
are you talking about my unborn daughter being essayed to make a point?
So
Dean,
what I'm trying to
we
give you
need
is
to go back to Obama and gas.
What I'm trying to give you is reasons to care. Okay.
A startling thing to say to me. Honestly, I came up here in a good faith debate, and you are just knocked me off my feet.
I wish that you would actually listen to me.
I'm honestly upset because
the concept of girls and women getting raped and impregnated is startling, and I'm not going to call you crazy for saying that.
Why?
But it's a fact that today, because of Donald Trump's policy, there are 60 impregnated rape victims that are denied access to abortion every single day.
Not what Dean, I don't want to talk about that. You use me saying I'm 3 months pregnant to start an abortion debate. Dean,
I'm just giving you reasons to care. Okay, then on top of the reasons to care about your future children, given that one of your children is a little girl, okay, you also have those same reasons to care as it relates to yourself. Like the mortality rate for pregnant women in Texas has gone up by a factor of 2 since the implementation of Trump's abortion ban in the state.
Dean, this is seriously.
It's my name.
I'm 3 months pregnant, and this is like where you go. Like, this is where your mind goes.
The place that my mind went is, well, in what ways would Donald Trump's policy and the policy of the GOP as a whole be the most impactful on your life today or impactful on the lives of those that you care about in the future? And one of the most impactful ways, okay, specifically for women and girls, specifically pregnant women like you, is absolutely without a doubt Donald Trump's abortion and healthcare policy. These considerations matter, okay? An obligation that you have as an expecting parent is to ensure that your child is raised appropriately in a world in which does not serve to their disinterests. And we could fight for a better future for your child and for the future children of many others by having this conversation today, by setting the scaffolding and ensuring that your future child doesn't grow up in a world where they don't have access to healthcare when they need it. When your child doesn't grow up in a world that, God forbid, one of the worst things that can happen does happen to them, then all of a sudden they're left being a parent at 16 because
Dean, I don't
the
even know
Republican
what
white
I'm
men in their state
having
say
yet.
they're denied access to abortion. And all of
Dean,
these
I don't
things
even know what
matter.
I'm having. I don't even know what I'm having yet.
Right. I'm just trying to give you reasons to care. That's all.
Who's saying I don't care about the world, Dean?
You said that you don't concern yourself with the news and you haven't watched it since Trump was elected.
Okay, yeah, but that's because I don't need the constant, like, he did this, he did that. Like, it's too much. Like, being pulled to both sides. I want to just be able to live my life and make up my mind based off of my everyday experiences. And from my experiences, everything is going just fine. So I stick to my vote. And I would
Okay.
vote for him again.
So why did you vote for Trump?
Everything that he campaigned on and ran for, I align with. I've
Like what specifically?
always aligned with Republican ideologies. The number one thing is the border, inflation.
Can you please give me an experience of the border personally impacting you?
I do know people that have passed from DRUGS being brought into the United States, and I believe that
How do you know that they were brought into the country through the border by undocumented immigrants?
I mean, that's just what I assume.
Okay, so you don't know that. So I'm asking you for an experience insofar as how the border has personally impacted you, and it doesn't seem like you could give me one that you know of. Now, the reason why I ask you this question is clear.
I'm literally giving you one right now.
Well, you just said, and I quote less than 10 seconds ago, that you don't know that those drugs came across the border in the hands of an undocumented
But there's a
immigrant.
possibility that they do. And I do know that there are a lot that do come across the border and people do die every day from them. And that is a big thing that I want to see stopped because I think that, American lives
Now you're talking about other people outside of yourself that you don't have any personal interest or stake in, outside of the fact that they just happen to live in the same country as you. And that's exactly why your argument that you are going to continue to support Trump because you haven't been watching the news and your life is relatively fine is complete dishonest bullshit. Okay? Because at the end of the day, when we're looking at the efficacy of a presidential administration, sure, we're going to have some selfishness in there. We're going to say, well, are they helping us? But what we should say is, are they helping us while also ensuring that help is not at the expense of the rest of the country? And I find that claim to be really ringing true of Donald Trump's administration today. Maybe if you are a member of that top 1%, he is helping you. But I mean, because it's at the expense.
I'm not part of the top 1%. Are you crazy?
Okay, so then
I
his
don't make
administration
$1
is
billion.
hurting you.
What do you think? I'm Elon?
Is
Get out of here.
your average annual income above or below $51,000?
I don't. Why does that matter? I don't want to talk about that.
Because given that it's below, you are actually making less money today because of Trump. His big beautiful bill hurts you on top of the increase in the price of groceries, the increase in the price of gas, the increase in the price of all goods. Inflation is at 3.8%, the highest in 4 years.
But I don't see a difference really when I go to the grocery store and I get gas. Like I don't really see a difference.
Okay. You could stop lying now. Like legitimately, I'm sorry, you're just a liar, and every American that drives a car and pays for the gas knows it. No, I'm not just gonna let you lie. I'm not gonna let you lie on my live stream.
You asked me
Every
if I'm pregnant
American
to make fun of my unborn
who
child.
drives, I wasn't making fun of your unborn child, ma'am. What a
were.
wild accusation to make. No, I was
were.
actually looking out for the better interests of your unborn child, unlike you. Maybe you're just a bad future mom.
How dare you? Are you serious?
How
Are
dare
you
I be
serious
honest?
right now? You
How
tell me
dare
I'm
I be
a bad
honest?
mom?
If
don't
you
even
think that
know
people are making fun of your child by wanting to ensure that in the future they have all social protections necessary in order to ensure that their life is conducive towards flourishment, happiness, and success, then you are absolutely a future bad mom. And I'd suggest that you change your ways.
Wow. Wow. That is so wildly inappropriate. I would never say something like that to you, Dean.
I
Are
don't
you
think that
serious?
honesty is inappropriate.
Okay, I don't think that you're being honest. I think you're just trying to be a jerk, and you're doing a great job at it. Because
Well, I mean,
that was
once again,
really
you
rude
told me
and
that I was
uncalled
making
for.
fun of your child by attempting to have a polite, productive, and good faith conversation with you about, well, what mechanisms in society should we
Dean.
ensure do exist to ensure the outcome of your child living a happy life. And like,
Dean, we
Dean,
were talking about
you want to
gas,
ensure
and
that
you
my
started
child
talking about-
is going to live a happy, flourished life. Oh, you're making fun of them.
Dean, we were talking about gas and Obama, and you started talking about SA and
No,
abortion.
what we were talking about was the fact that you said
No, girl.
that
No, girl.
well, you're living a perfectly fine life. You don't watch the news because it doesn't matter. Okay, well, I started to go
I
through the
didn't say
ways
it
in which it
doesn't
does matter.
I don't have the time, and I don't have the capacity to take in the news every single day and what Trump's doing and what he's not doing.
Okay,
It's like,
but do you agree that access to abortion matters?
I mean, I'm pro-life, but access to abortion, I don't know. Like, we weren't even talking about that. Like, where did that even come from?
Because I'm just trying to discover political things that matter to you. You're pro-life. Do you think that rape victims should be denied access to abortion?
No, I don't think that.
Okay. Well, guess what? Trump's administration has ensured that they are in 10 of our 50 states.
Okay, well, I'm not going to agree with every single thing that he,
Okay,
passes and does.
That's like a really bad thing he's doing. So what's a really good thing that he's doing to overwhelm that really bad thing?
Again, I don't.
You
this
don't
is
know?
part of why this is part of why I join and I listen, because I want to learn. But like, I don't see him doing anything bad. And in terms of good, I mean, my costs are down. I'm not paying a lot.
I don't believe you. Okay, listen. Sounds good. So, how about this? If you're really here to learn, if you don't stay up to date with the news, if you're just looking for some insight, maybe you are a good faith and honest person, and I'll be able to change your mind. Do you think that it would be fair to say Trump shouldn't be president if you knew with certainty that Donald Trump had boasted and taken pride in sexually exploiting naked women and girls?
I'm sorry. I don't want to answer this incorrectly. So can you just rephrase? I'm going to say, however, like, I don't think that if he did that he should be president now.
So if he did that, he shouldn't be president.
Correct.
Here's him admitting to doing that on Howard Stern's radio show in 2005.
It's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell me
I'll
what
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything
doctor.
is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
When's that from?
I told you, Howard Stern's radio show in 2005.
Okay. And that's proven, like a proven quote.
You heard him say it.
Yeah, but Dean, there's AI and things, I'm just trying to be extra cautious when I take in news.
Okay.
So,
well, one, there wasn't AI in 2005.
but
And
there's
two,
AI now, Dean, and you're playing me a clip I've never heard before, so I have a right to ask.
Yeah, so it's not AI. It's from 05. Even the YouTube video that I'm pulling that from is from 9 years ago, which was also before AI, and I could show you that on the screen if you'd like. And that was on the Howard Stern radio show, which was literally the largest radio show of the early 2000s, and he was a very frequent guest on it.
Okay, in that clip that you played, maybe you could play it again, because I just heard him talking about women, like grown women, like just trying to be like, and isn't Howard Stern like a gross, like shock jock? Like, do you think maybe he was just trying to be like,
yeah,
ha ha?
Typically, like shock jocks are gross people, or like the best at getting other gross people to admit they're gross people. If a nun walked up to a Nazi and the nun said, "Now, do you hate Jewish people and wish that they'd all die?" The Nazi might try to sugarcoat it, evade the question, or straight up lie because the Nazi's talking to a nun. They're a good person. Okay? But if a Nazi's talking to a Nazi, do you hate all Jewish people? Do you want them to die? Well, that second Nazi, well, guess what? Oh, he's gonna talk about how much he wants all Jewish people to die all night long. So very similarly, of course Howard Stern is gross. Of course Howard Stern is a shock jock. I don't like Howard Stern for those reasons. But the fact that Howard Stern is so fucking gross and was laughing along with everything Trump said was the one egging him on by actually asking him the questions about, well, what are the sexual things that he'd do with the beauty pageant contestants? That's what got Donald Trump to feel comfortable enough in the first place to share that story.
That's what I'm saying is, don't you think that Donald Trump just went along with it like, haha, you're the pervy radio guy. I'm just going to say something kind of outlandish to like match your energy and give you this like moment on your radio show.
No, because if Donald Trump was just going along and making stuff up, he would have said that he had consensual sex with the women at his pageants. The reason why I know that is because the question that Howard Stern had asked Donald Trump is, have you had sex with him? So if Trump was just trying to go along, he would have said, yeah, they come up to me and I have sex with them all night long. That would be Donald Trump line to go along. No, but Donald Trump said, no, Howard Stern, I don't have sex with them. But here's what I do instead. I barge into their dressing rooms and I sexually exploit them. And by the way, that admission of guilt has been corroborated by many of the victims. Many of the women that competed at Miss USA said that he just barged in.
How old were these women?
Well over the age of 18, because this is Miss USA, which doesn't change a fact because it's still sexual exploitation.
Well,
you don't
I know,
lose the
but,
right to be
like,
sexually violated the day you become an adult.
I'm
Many
just
women
making
from Miss
sure
USA
we're talking about
who,
just exploitation, not like anything with children. Sorry.
well,
I
we
just
also
wanted to make
saw
sure.
it with children, because not only did we have a bunch of women from Miss USA come forward and say this happened to them, we also had 3 teens as young as 15 from Miss Teen USA come forward. It was predominantly 17-year-old Mariah Bellato who said he'd just walk into the dressing rooms when we were all naked and say, don't worry, ladies, I've seen it all before.
Okay. Okay. Well, that honestly does gross me out a bit and makes me think.
Has it changed your position on your support for Trump?
No.
Should I rewind the VOD to 10 minutes ago where you said it would?
Could you play the clip again of him on Howard Stern?
Of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell me
I'll
what
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting.
Right,
I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
I just think he's trying to be funny. I mean, it's not funny, but I think he's trying to be funny.
Lock in the deals on all your games.
Okay.
Oh, what the?
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
No, I don't mind.
Here's Tasha Dixon. She was Miss USA from Arizona in 2001. Tell us, do you think she was just trying to be funny?
He just came strolling right in. There was no second to put a robe on or any sort of clothing or anything. Some girls were topless, other girls were naked.
As Miss Arizona 2001, Tasha Dixon competed in the Miss USA pageant. Donald Trump owned the contest along with Miss Universe and Miss Teen USA for 19 years.
Our first introduction to him was when we were at the dress rehearsal and half naked changing into our bikinis. To have the owner come waltzing in when we're naked or half naked in a very physically vulnerable position.
Was she just trying to be funny too, Liv?
Did she say Trump? She said the owner. Is that who she's referring to?
Yes, because that's who Trump was. He was the owner of the pageants.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I've never heard somebody come forward and say, like to confirm that. Like,
Okay,
so
well-
yeah, that changes things.
Okay, that does change things. Also, the last thing I like to say here on the topic, if he's just trying to be funny, I completely think that's outlandish and insane as hell. Can you point me towards one other example, okay, of a man on an interview falsely claiming that he engaged in sexual violence when in all reality he didn't?
I'm not saying that he didn't do it.
No.
I'm saying he said that on Howard Stern to try to look funny in front of Howard Stern.
Okay, so you're saying that he said
But I'm not
something that he
saying that's
did
okay.
actually do. So you do affirm that he was telling a true story of something he did.
Well, yeah, and especially now that I heard the interview with
Okay.
that woman. Yeah,
Good. So does this make you reconsider your support for Trump?
it does.
Okay. So you're no longer a Trump supporter.
Well, Dean, you can't just flip it off like that. I mean, my support is wavering. Let's say that it's diminishing.
All right. And then like the other like good things that he's done that maybe make you still support him, you know, you could articulate them. How about this? Really this time? Because last time you told me, oh, Dean, if he sexually exploited women and girls, I would stop supporting him as president. Okay. Really this time, Liv? If he raped a woman, would you stop supporting him as president? Raped a woman.
Jesus, Dean, with the words. I mean, trigger warning. Yeah, no, I wouldn't support him if he did that.
Okay. Perfect. So here is the jury verdict form from a jury of 9 in a court that found Donald Trump guilty of raping a woman by the name of E. Jean Carroll. And if you're curious why it says no to rape but yes to sexual abuse, but I'm saying he was found guilty of rape, it's because they determined he forcefully penetrated a woman's vagina with his fingers against her will. But legally, rape was just the penetration of the vagina with a penis, not the fingers. So legally, it was only sexual abuse. But this is the jury verdict form nonetheless.
And this is for who?
Donald Trump?
Oh my God, Dean. I know. Oh my God. Who is this? The woman that you played the clip from just now? Or
No, this is E. Jean Carroll, a woman who he raped in the 90s.
Oh, okay. And where did you get this? This is public information?
NewYorkCourts.gov. It says the case number up here, 22-CV-10016.
Okay. Well, I guess I don't support him then.
Great job, Liv.
I don't support him anymore, Dean.
Great job, Liv. Well, I appreciate you for joining. How about that?
Dean, are you serious? You owe me an apology.
For?
You talked about my unborn child. You called me names. I just needed to just wanted to have a discussion. I don't really watch the news. You do. And you insulted my unborn baby.
Once again, I never insulted your unborn baby. I said
You
that
did. You did, and my feelings are hurt, honestly.
You came up here, you made the case that you don't really personally care and you're not all too that involved. Why are you interrupting me? You're not all that too involved. You don't stay up to the news because you don't care. Your life is fine, whatever. The reason I started to talk about your unborn baby is because there are very important considerations about the future life of the unborn child and your life as well while you're pregnant and giving birth that are very relevant to politics and policy. Right? You know, what if that pregnancy was non-viable and about to kill you tomorrow? Well, if you were in Texas,
What
you
if
might
it
die
did? You'd
because
feel
of it.
pretty bad. You'd feel pretty bad, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd feel really bad.
You turn
that you're
on the
about to
news
die.
and you find out,
and I'd feel even worse
Liv,
that all of a
debated
sudden,
Dean Withers died the very next day. You'd feel pretty bad talking to me like that, and then I died tomorrow, wouldn't you?
all right, you're not going to get the point, Liv. I'm happy that we could change your mind, though. Goodbye. Risky, thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat. Who says, after our debate, I can't say that I'm a Democrat, but I will say that I no longer support Trump. From John. John! Yo, that's that first guest from the day. We spoke to him yesterday about the economy. You know, he's not like a terrible guy, but he's like, It wasn't keeping up with the argumentation too well. We had him on earlier. Now apparently John's no longer a Trump supporter. Bro, listen. That's why I love what we do so fucking much. Thank you so much for the $20, John. I'm so happy to hear that. I think that a lot of people think that these streams aren't that effective because it is admittedly hard to change people's minds in the moment of, like we did with that last guest. But in a vast majority of circumstances, what will happen is they'll leave the live thinking about it, then they'll process it, and then change their mind later like John. So thank you, man. As well as over on Super Chat, thank you so much, Mask, for the $100. Yo, dude, you're the GOAT. That is so much money. Thank you so much for the love. Genuinely, I don't deserve a penny of that. To move in the back with every bone in my body. Thank you so much for your kindness and your generosity. I want to see 1,000 Mask W's down below in that chat. Thank you so much, my friend. That's the same person who said that they'd send $1 for every troll. Mask with $100 says, I have to go, so hopefully you do not get that many more trolls, but I'm covering the spread just in case. Be loved, you are. Let's go! We made $100 because of the trolls. We love that. We love that. Please show some love to the GOAT. Mask down below in that comment section. Oh my. That's a lot of money. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do, Dean. Also, God, that Liv, I'm so glad she got out of here. I was really I was really bothered by the,
I know. MAGA men get hot and bothered by women. It's just, yeah. That's why you guys stay in the basements. Listen, I'm going to thank a couple people. Kat, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate you. Let's get 50 Cat W's. Danielle, thank you so much for the $5 as well. And Margaret, thank you so much for the $25. Thank you so much. Same thing to you. Mary, thank you for the $25. Show some love to Margaret and Mary in that chat. Margaret with the 25 says thank you. Well, thank you. I appreciate you as always. Same thing to you. Mary with the 25 says, God damn, Dean, I was just listening to the debates and your piano skills snapped my head your way. Thanks so much, Mary. I appreciate you. Thank you. You're the GOAT and you know it. How about over on PayPal? Then we'll be all caught up, folks. I promise. Emma, thank you for the $2. Molly with the 10 who says, just drop it in to bring up an observation. I swear that Donald Trump says the words dressing room while Donald Trump cuts him off. He does, under his breath. So does Donald Trump. He also says it under his breath. It's just a hard point to argue because it's easy for Trump supporters to wiggle out of, Alexander and Camille, that is Camille. Thank you both for the $20 donos over on PayPal. You guys are the GOATs. Thank you, guys. Alexander with the 20 says, hey, Dean, would you be willing to show off some more of your piano skills? Oh, yeah, maybe we should do that later towards the end of the stream. We did that yesterday. Camille, thank you for the $20 who says, Dean, I was able to hold my own political debate with a MAGA colleague today. So I wanted to thank you for keeping me educated and entertained for about 2 months now. Have a nice weekend. You too, Camille. I'm so proud of you. Good shit. Caitlin, thank you for the $15 over on PayPal, talking about that last guess, how she had only been in 34th grade when Obama was president, so she was lying. True. Thank you for the $15. JJ, thank you so much for the $10. Diego, thank you for the $10, who says, yo, Dean, really love what you do, and I hope that you can continue to make these MAGA idiots feel humiliated for continuing to support the wreck. Well, thank you. Same thing to you, SJ. Thank you for the $10. You're awesome. And with all that being said, I think that we're all caught up. Guys, if you want to support me, support the stream, support us so we could continue to do this for 4 hours a day, 7 days a week, you could find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in the bio of my TikTok account. The @'s right there, Dean Withers without the E in Withers. Double check that spelling, bunch of scammer accounts out there. And it's also in the pinned message of that YouTube stream. Best way to support us genuinely. Colt, why don't you go and take it away and tell us why you support that stinky moron?
First of all, I just want to say thank you for that, Galaxy. I did not want to leave that out. I thank you, Scars. I appreciate that, bro. But yes, before, I know you do the whole questions thing. October 20th, 2007, Mr. Dean. And yes, I do support Trump. So if you got any questions, send them at me.
Yeah, why do you support that train wreck?
Well, you could say that. I mean, I know obviously a lot of people in here don't, a lot of people do, a lot of mixed opinions here, but everyone's here to voice their opinion, so let's do that. I kind of want to go back on kind of what Liv said. I think that, me personally, I haven't had any problems. I think a lot of things randomly just got brought up, like the whole rape thing and the podcast saying, I've never heard any of that until right now. So I'm kind of confused on where that came from. Also, a lot of things are AI these days, so maybe that could be AI. I would like to see the video of that, please. If there's a video of Trump with his mouth moving saying that, because it's only an audio.
Yeah.
I think that Everything I've been paying for is fine, whether with like what Liv said, with Obama, with any other
You're
president.
just fucking in
Maybe
denial, dude.
I'm not in denial because you haven't asked me anything, and I never said no or denied nothing.
Yes,
I'm just
clearly
voicing
you're
my
paying more
opinion.
for gas today. It's like, I'm an American. I drive a car. I buy gas. And
Right.
I'm paying the most I ever have in my adult life for gasoline today. Right?
And that's fine.
And this same thing is going to be true for you, right? Because when the price of gas was like peaking under Biden, you know, like we probably both didn't really drive too much. We were kids, right? So it's like you can't say that, you know, everything's just going okay for you. No, your gas is absolutely more expensive. Social safety nets are on the line. The economy as a whole is less productive. GDP growth is down by 1%. And last year we had the lowest amount of jobs to the economy we have in 20 ignoring recessions, on top of the highest level of unemployment and most layoffs since the pandemic. But specifically to your questions about that clip of Donald Trump, no, it's not AI because it's from 2005. And no, I don't have a video of his face moving because it wasn't a podcast on YouTube. Once again, 05, it was a radio show.
Right. And is that the only thing that you have on him? Is that that radio podcast, and then that thing saying that he raped someone?
The short answer to your question is no.
Okay. Well, let's see some more. What else you got?
Okay, he's mentioned the Epstein files over 1 million times, including a credible accusation from a minor that was trafficked by Epstein and won millions of dollars in a settlement from his estate because of it. You also have the 40-plus other accusations from other women ranging years. His ex-wife Ivana, before he was ever in politics, indicated that he raped her in the divorce proceedings. He said on a 10-year-old girl, telling her that he'd be dating her in 10 years. He said on his own daughter, calling her a hot piece of ass, with Howard Stern actually agreeing. You know, on top of the weird letter that he sent to Epstein in 2003, saying that you know, they have all these wonderful secrets together depicting the naked outline of the body of a girl, or the letter that Epstein had sent to Larry Nassar, another child rapist, saying that Donald Trump shares their affiliation for young sexually attractive girls. You also have the felonies case, the Stormy Daniels case, where he cheated on Melania with a porn star, Stormy Daniels. And then to force her to stay quiet about it, he's paid her hush money prior to the 2016 election. But the way that he paid her hush money was to send money to his lawyer as legal fees, and then the lawyer took that money plus a loan that he'd gotten out against his house to then turn around and give that money to Stormy Daniels. So that was a mess. He's cheated on all three of his wives, not just Melania. He's also very racist. In the 70s, he was sued for not renting to black people in violation of the Civil Rights Act. His introduction into American politics was to say that Obama, because he's black, wasn't born here. He was born in Africa, Nigeria. Therefore, he shouldn't be able to run for president, even though there's no evidence of that. He depicted Obama and his wife, Michelle, as literal apes and monkeys on Truth Social. I mean, like I said, I could go all day with this. I mean, he legitimately has one of the most atrocious characters ever. Oh, he also called for the execution of sitting Democrats in Congress. He said that they should die because they told members of our military that if he gives them an illegal order, they don't got to follow it. He threatened to genocide 90 million people in Iran. He cut off funding to USAID, which is expected to kill 14 million people over the course of the next 4 years. So much I got here, man.
Okay. Yeah, no, and I completely understand that. I just want to ask a few questions of where are you getting this information? Is it on specific websites? Where is it scientifically proven?
Well, the place I'm getting information from that he raped a woman would be from NewYorkCourts.gov, just reading through the court documents. Once again, this was adjudicated in a court of 9 jurors. Getting the information that he sexually exploited those women and girls, once again from that clip from Howard Stern's radio show in 2005. Getting the source that his cuts to USAID are going to kill 14 million people over the course of the next 4 years is from a study conducted by The Lancet. Source that he refused to rent to black people in the 70s, also from court documents, because that was a lawsuit that he also later spoke about a little bit in one of his books. Getting the information that he depicted the Obamas as apes on Truth Social directly from his Truth Social feed. Getting the information that he called for the execution of Democrats directly from his Truth Social feed. Getting the information that he hit on a 10-year-old girl, saying that he'd be dating her in 10 years from a video of it on YouTube published by ET, Entertainment Times, because they were conducting an interview with him and he was hot mic'd and he didn't know. Getting the information that he's mentioned the Epstein files over 1 million times from Representative Jamie Raskin, as well as other congressmen and women that have corroborated it. Getting the information that he's a credible accusation against him in the E-files from independent journalism, on top of reporting from every mainstream media outlets, as well as the Democratic caucus in the House. Do you want me to continue to go all day?
No, I don't want to waste your time, Mr. Dean. But I do want to ask if you could choose someone else to be elected instead of Trump, right? Who would you pick? Because if anyone, you don't care who it is.
You'd make a better president than Trump. Now, can you please tell me why I'm wrong here? Because I just kind of gave you a pretty lengthy, nuanced argument for why Trump sucks. Because that's what you asked me. But I'd love to hear what your response is.
And an average person doesn't know any of that information because a lot of people aren't looking that up day to day or even care to even know any of that and look it up about Trump. I mean, the average Trump supporter, aka myself, doesn't sit and watch the news or anything like that, right? So we're basically just living our day-to-day life based off of, okay, our president in the office, blah blah blah. So why is my life being affected so much because I support him? Okay, gas prices, this and that, all the facts you stated, whatever. But that's anyone you elect as president. They have background information that nobody knows about until they later find that out. So regardless who's elected as president, you're still going to have someone with some type of information that nobody likes.
Okay. Well, can you point me towards any other presidential nominee or somebody in the run for the president in modern American history that like raped people, sexually exploited girls, was super duper racist? Can you point me towards one?
No, because like I said,
but I thought everybody has that background information on them that nobody likes.
Right. They do.
Okay, so then why don't we know it about anybody else?
Because nobody has this information like you do, Dean.
Oh, so you're just saying like there's like probably like really smart conservatives out there, like I'm a really smart anti-conservative that like could say very similar things to the same extent against somebody like Kamala Harris who you voted against in the last election. See, I think that's a cope.
How's it a cope?
Because it's just a baseless claim that you have no evidence for.
I don't need to have evidence.
You don't need to have evidence for what you believe in. I think you do. Maybe that's our fundamental disagreement. You're a Trump supporter because you don't think you need evidence for your beliefs. And I'm not a Trump supporter because I do think I need evidence for my beliefs.
Okay, and a lot of people don't, like I said, don't have the information that you have. So, Dean, if everybody knew this information that you had...
Listen, man. If you're telling me you're just like low info, Dean, I support Trump because I'm low info, then just stop being a Trump supporter. When you don't know a lot about something, don't have an opinion on it.
So you're telling me right now that I should not be a Trump supporter based off of all the information that you have?
Based on all the information that you have, actually. It seems like what you're trying to communicate to and appeal to is, well, Dean, this is your day job. You do this all the time. Of course you know all this, but I know nothing. Okay, if you don't know anything about politics, just don't have an opinion. Like, I don't want people to have opinions about politics when they don't have any knowledge to justify those opinions. And, like, this is about people on the left, too, right? It's like, I just don't want, because it's just a very bad device that could really lead people astray and promote very negative outcomes in society. If we stop treating reality with the respect it deserves, treating it with humility, and we just start, acting as if the world is just our sandbox that we could kind of do whatever we want with, and willy-nilly holding beliefs because we want them to be true compared to not having reason to. It's a very bad thing. You laughed. Goodbye. Okay. All right, whatever. Moving on to the next guest, folks. He ran away, quite frankly. He ran. Hey, do you support Trump?
Partially.
How old are you?
Most of 17, so I don't know if he'll allow that or not.
Are you Canadian?
No.
I heard that most of the reason. I thought that was a Canadian. Yeah, but you're 17. We gotta kick you. Only up instead of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Follow the rules of the live stream. God damn it. I say. God damn it. Delaney, thank you so much for the $50 donation on Venmo. Delaney, you are awesome. Thank you so very much for that love and support. Genuinely, you are awesome, awesome, awesome. I want to see 500 Delaney W's down below in that comment section. Delaney with the 50 says, I know everybody hopes that you get into politics, but I think that's because we know you'll make a huge impact. But I bet we'd be happy if you eventually put your heart into music and become a music artist. If/when our economy and society ever normalizes. Would you ever want that? No, listen, if I wasn't in politics, I'd just be studying philosophy, making no money. Making no money, studying philosophy all day. Because that's what I love. That's what I love. Thank you so much for the $50. I appreciate you. Let's get 500 Delaney W's. DJ, thank you for the $20 on Super Chat. Who says, how liberal/leftist are you, Dean? Well, I mean, I try to stay away from like labels because a lot of people just demonize the labels respectively. But I'm like in the middle. So I'm a social democrat. You can't label me as a leftist because I don't believe in socialism or communism. But I'm much more progressive than, like, for instance, the liberal establishment. Thank you for the $20, though, Wolf. Let's get 200 Wolf W's. Hey, Hannah, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Hi, Dean. How are you?
Yeah, I'm just fucking great. Well, I guess if you're a Trump supporter, then I'm terrible.
No, I just wanted to follow up, and I just wanted to reply to Colt that Trump's name is said in the e-files more times than...
I love it. You are awesome. But we're just looking for Trump supporters. We're going to go get that next guest up here. You take care. You should go start your own lives. I don't say that in a demeaning way either, okay? If you feel so invigorated by the spirit of debate that you want to join my live and add something on to something that another guest had said, go start your own life, seriously. Seriously, seriously, seriously. We need more people trying to change minds. Vinny, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Vinny, that's terrible. I'm going to puke all over my desk. Kat and Kristen, I appreciate you guys for the $5 on Venmo. Thank y'all. On PayPal, Ryan with the $5 who says, love you, Dean. Love you, Ryan. Thank you for the $5 who says, you seem tired. Take care. I'm very tired today. Very, very, very tired. Fallon, thank you for the $5. Brett with the $10 who says, need to add a source-based claims only segment to see if you'll find somebody that could give you a real debate with substance. Unlikely. There'd only be more trolls. And then Emma, thank you for the $2. Once again, if you want to support me, support this stream, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok. Pin message on YouTube. That's at the top of the phone screen as well. Why do you support Trump?
Listen, so I support Trump, but in kind of like a non-orthodox way, okay?
Okay, Vinny, what's the argument?
So the argument really for me is like I like what he's doing, but I support him more because I see an uprise in liberals just coming out these debates, and I see that they're, you got you're a good looking guy, Dean. All right, so I see.
Wow, what a strong start, Vinny. Thank you.
Well, okay, give me a second. All right, let me cook, as the kids say nowadays. All right, so I see. You got these. I don't know what it is with you liberal debaters. All happen to have these blue eyes, good looks. But my wife is on this app, and
get out of here, bro. He's a troll. It says so in his bio, but he said his bio says that he's a professional troll. So I wanted to see if he could give, I wanted to see how good he was at bullshit. I want to see if he was going to give some grade A bullshit MAGA moron argument. I wanted to see just how professional he really was. Let's get that next guest connected. Yo, Bianca, thank you for the $50 donation on PayPal. That is BIANCA. Let's get 500 Bianca W's. Bianca with the $50 says, you're amazing, breasts. So are you. Thank you so much. I hope that you've enjoyed today's stream. I hope that you enjoy the rest of it. Y'all already know the drill. Show some love to the GOAT Bianca down below. The GOAT. Welcome in, Jamie. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Jamie, how old are you?
Yeah, 18.
Yeah, don't believe you for a second. Moving on to the next guest, Tommy. 6 foot with shoes on. 6 foot with shoes on, Tommy's loading up into the box. Here we go, everyone. Tommy, do you support Trump?
No, I hate black people.
Okay, Tommy. Well, you're pretty disgusting. Let's go to get that next guest. Load up into the queue. Why would he say that? Dean, do you support Trump? Tommy? No, I'm just a fucking moron. No, Tommy? No, I'm just like a fucking Moronic chud. I'm such an idiot. I fucking hate myself, dude. Haven't left my basement in 3 years, man. My mom stopped bringing me food when the stench was radiating out of the bottom of the door. She couldn't get near it no more. That's like basically, like that's just a synonym for what he said. Bella, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Bella, how old are you?
18.
Bella, what year are you born in? Okay, Bella, take care. Moving on to the next guest. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. Only hop in that queue. Unreal. Hi, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
You are FBI anti-immigration guy, right?
Yes, and you ran from me. And
No,
it's
I
so sad.
kicked you because in 40 minutes, the only thing that you could give me was one study that debunked itself. How embarrassing was that?
Well, it would be crazy if I found another study, wouldn't it, Dean?
It would be so crazy. So crazy. I'm actually going to take a new angle on this. If you don't support things that are harmful to black people, then you shouldn't support Trump because he's racist.
Well,
do you accept that Donald Trump is racist?
I can accept that personally. He may have some prejudices.
No, not personally may have some prejudice. In the 70s, he was sued for refusing to rent to black people, and he's now depicted the two most successful black people in the history of this country as literal apes on Truth Social.
So to counterclaim that, I would say that, number one, Trump rents rich hotels. So you're talking about the bourgeoisie. And if you want to talk about good things he's done for the bourgeoisie, you actually discussed this in your Jubilee video,
Are you
Dean.
saying that black people can't be rich?
No, I'm saying that Trump deals with rich black people, which don't reflect the majority of black people, sir.
No, he doesn't even deal with rich black people, though. That's the thing. He denied the housing applications from any and all black people.
So why did he let black people into Mar-a-Lago?
Why did he refuse to rent to them at his properties in New York?
Well, that's left to be seen. I would have to do my
No, that's
research
not left
on
to be
that.
seen. I mean, so as it relates to his properties in New York, once again, he refused to allow black people to stay there. So the state justice department got wind that this might be something that Trump is doing. So then they sent testers in. They'd send white testers in. They'd asked if they had any available units. The property manager said yes. Immediately after, they sent black testers in, asked if they had any available units. The property manager said no. They were able to depose the property manager, and he said that was a direct order from Trump. So they then launched a larger investigation into it. What they found was that when they would get a paper housing application from a black person, they'd put the letter C on it, standing for colored, and then throw it in the junk drawer. Then inevitably, they sued Donald Trump and his company for all of this, and then they settled outside of court, but a part of that settlement included Donald Trump going to the newspapers and posting ads saying, "I'm sorry, we rent to black people now. Sorry, guys." And then he actually wrote about this in his book. He said that, well, it wasn't about their race, but it was about their income.
Yeah, so if that is true, which I'll take you at your word. I feel it is a despicable practice. However, I'm more about group benefits, and I think we've benefited more as a group.
Okay,
from him being in office.
Benefited more as a group from him being in office. How?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How
So-
are black Americans better off today than they were a year and a half ago? What is one macroeconomic variable in which demonstrates that black Americans are better off today than they were a year and a half ago under Biden?
Whoa, you jumped a step there. I didn't say specifically this term. So
You said that
I'm
they've
still
benefited
within
because
the
he's in
office.
term.
Yeah, I said that we benefit from him being in office.
No, you
So
said
let me just give you-
benefited. I made sure that I caught the benefited. Okay, because that is a very important syntactical statement. How have black people benefited? What is one way in which black people are better off today than they were a year and a half ago?
So number one, we see more ethnic pride towards social issues. We see more recognition
Pride
of
towards social issues.
Yeah, we see more recognition of who's really a foundational black American, economically
Who's
speaking.
really can you explain that first one? More ethnic pride towards social issues. What does that mean?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you're aware of how we're boycotting the Asians right now. We're boycotting a whole lot of other minorities because they try to group us into this people of color
Bro,
thing, and we're not
what? Do
we're
you
not
I
going
have a
for that
question.
anymore.
Do you boycott white people?
We boycott white people don't really operate in our neighborhoods like that.
Wait, so I
It's
just want to clarify
mostly
that you
immigrants.
boycott like other marginalized people, but you don't boycott white people. You know who else does that? White
Who does that, sir?
supremacists. If you were white, you'd be a Nazi.
So could you name one
I
business
that's
that's
just I'm just what I'm that's like it's just a fact for you to sit here and say, "Woo, I hate minorities, Asians, Mexicans, everybody, boycott them, boycott." But white people, nah, you know what I mean? If you were white, you'd be Nazi. And now I just want to clarify, you're saying the way that Donald Trump has benefited black people materially over the course of the last year and a half is by making black individuals boycott other minority groups?
No, I specifically said ethnic pride and more ethnic relations. But I want to get to economics. That's my
Okay.
favorite.
So like what's
Well,
one
right.
macroeconomic
So,
indicator that describes how black Americans are better off today than they were a year and a half ago?
so we can talk about business growth. If you look at any chart, black business growth is on the rise due to deregulation.
Okay.
Overall, he's created a better business environment.
Sure.
Opportunities have created more businesses in black neighborhoods, revitalized.
Yeah.
Crime has dropped.
Yeah.
What else can I point to,
Okay, so
Dean?
business growth. So, I mean, countrywide, that's certainly not true for all businesses. GDP growth is down. Unemployment is up. Specifically, the black unemployment is the highest since the pandemic. 1.3 million layoffs last year. Black women disproportionately accounted for a lot of those. And we got the worst jobs report in 20 years. And when our economy is hurt, we know that black individuals hurt the most. So I'd say that you're definitely wrong about arguing that black businesses are better off today than they were a year and a half ago. Could you give me a source for that?
Yeah, so this is from Brookings.edu actually. Black owned businesses reach new milestones between 2025 and 2026.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what
So,
specific milestones?
in terms of overall ownership, so we saw
You're saying that there's
13%.
more black business owners?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
We saw a 13% growth in black women owned businesses between 2025 and 2026.
Okay.
And we experienced a strong startup surge, raising 643
So what
million
was the
in just the
percentage
first
growth
quarter
in
of
black women-owned
2026.
businesses in 2024, in 2023 through 2024?
Well, I would have to look those numbers up, but are you trying to say that Trump is just eating off of what Biden did?
Well,
Because
no,
that
I'm
would be a
just
wrong
I'm
point
just
to make,
making
Dean.
sure that this is genuinely an economic variable that's better off, right? Because, like, for instance, if black-owned businesses increased by like 75% in 2023 through 2024, then that dropped down to 13%. Okay, well, like that's actually conditions that are worse off. So we need to ensure that the comparative growth under the Biden term was lower than 13%. So could you give a
So
source for that?
yeah, so I'm looking that up right now. Right now, the number that I have is 13% from 2024 to 2025, which would indicate that the growth remained around the same
Okay.
in black
Okay.
women specifically.
Okay, so specifically, if the growth rate of new black women opening businesses has remained the same, but then the businesses that they're opening are worse off, well, that actually doesn't indicate an economic impactor that's better off, but rather one that's worse off, right? Because once again, the same amount of people are opening businesses, but then the businesses they open are performing worse.
Oh wait, actually I lied. This is from Yahoo Finance from 2024 to 2025. It was actually 6%,
Mm-hmm.
and then the revenues jumped 8% in 2024 to 2025. This is compared to 13% in 2025 to 2026.
Okay. And how are those businesses performing? Because, I mean, that's just a really interesting thing. You're saying all of these black women were opening businesses in 2025, Yet we had the worst jobs report in 20 years, the most layoffs since the pandemic, highest level of unemployment since the pandemic, the most manufacturing bankruptcy since the tail end of the Great Recession. And every single quarter, there's been a decreasing level of investment into our manufacturers. So maybe what I'd say is the reason why there was a massive increase in black women-owned businesses last year is because they were disproportionately impacted by the layoffs and the Doge cuts. There's just more black women out of a job, which then gave way for more black women to open businesses.
Did you get that from ChatGPT?
No, I got this from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis. Yeah, I think that those are my two main sources, and the Fed, the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. So how are the businesses performing? Because I don't just simply think you pointing out that more black women are opening businesses is necessarily a good thing. If that's actually the last-ditch effort of somebody to survive in a capitalist society that's harming them so badly because of the massive hits to the economy. But if these black women who opened up businesses in 2025 also had their businesses performing excellingly great, okay, well, then I might concede the point. But that, once again, when the economy is doing bad, who's hurt the most?
Yeah, so I would also have to look up another.
Do you agree that when the
qualifier
economy is doing
perhaps.
bad, that black people are hurt the most compared to any other demographic in America?
Yeah, sure. I could agree with that. I'm not going to argue.
So because
that point.
corporate profit, the growth rate of corporate profits went down in 2025, this means that they went down the most for black-owned business. When the jobs report was the worst in 20 years, this means that black-owned businesses were hiring the smallest amount of people because their businesses were struggling the most disproportionately. Okay? When we saw the most manufacturing bankruptcies in 2025 and 15 years, there was a disproportionate amount of manufacturers that went bankrupt owned by black people. So it seems like your claim here is flawed.
Yeah, so that's a correlation causation. I'm looking into the numbers as we currently speak. You can't. Oh, hold on. What does this say here? This is from Pew Research Center. It says black-owned businesses are experiencing unprecedented growth with millions of enterprises generating over $200 billion annually. So this is actually from Pew Research Center.
Yeah, is that the claim that black-owned businesses gross revenue soared by 66% during this time span? Is that the right article?
It says here reaping the unrealized gains of black businesses. That may be a claim.
I just want to clarify. Is this the right article?
No, it's titled "Reaping the Unrealized Gains of Black Businesses," June 26, 2025.
Oh, so you mean like literally 3 months into Trump's term, before the big beautiful bill?
Wait, can you count? Wait, how many months is January from June?
Oh, sorry, did I say 3? My bad. 5.
I mean, you were here crying 2 days into his term, so it's very bold of you to.
I mean, which was still before the big beautiful bill was passed, because that was passed in July. So yeah, what I would say here is that article is evaluating statistics from the previous year in 2024 under Biden. Plus, like, we didn't even have annualized economic data released by the BLS or U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis mid-2025 either. And even if it was looking at that information quarterly, well, then guess what? The quarterly information that we'd see would be once again from Q1 because Q2 wasn't even over yet. The data wasn't out for Q2. So are you saying that the source you're granting evaluated data from Q1 of 2025? That Biden was president for 1/3 of and Donald Trump had passed policy for 0/3 of?
So if we're talking about a specific source for the revenue, I can give you a different source from Paso Alice.
Wait, what's the title? What's the title of the article from Pew Research?
It's the one that I showed you, reaping the unrealized gains of black businesses.
Reaping the unrealized gains of black businesses. This is from Brookings. Actually, something that I've already looked at. Bruh! You are so fucking disingenuous. Did you read this? Did you read this?
I think I gave you the wrong article originally. Yes, it is from Brookings. So, yes, what would you like to say? What would you like to say, sir?
What is the what is the time span of the data in the article?
So the first paragraph is from 2017 to 2022.
Okay. Yeah. And then what about the fourth paragraph?
So the fourth paragraph, let's look here.
2020 to 2024. So you're evaluating data from 2017 until 2024 to argue that black people were made better off because of Trump in his second term in 2025 and 2026.
Did you read the full paragraph? Because it clearly states right there, Small Business Administration data from 2017 to 2025. Who was president in 2017 and who was president in 2025?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, where does it say 2025? That's not mentioned in the fourth paragraph whatsoever. It says pulling data from the Federal Reserve Small Business Credit Survey from 2020 to 2024, and then Census Bureau's Annual Business Survey and Nonprofit Statistics from 2022.
So this would be in the fifth paragraph where it says Small Business Administration data from 2017 to 2025.
Yeah, what data is it pulling from 2025? What
It's
data?
highlighted.
Wait, I'm so
It's
sorry.
highlighted
This
in
article was made, you said 5 months after Donald Trump's inauguration. What data was pulled from 2025?
So I would have to look into that. I'm not
Then do
sure
it.
about the
Because
specifics.
I don't think that there's going to be any data there from 2025 in which is going to be representative of
So
any positive
let's
correlate or
focus
trend
on
of
the
Donald Trump's
original
success.
claim.
No, I don't want to focus on the original claim. I want you to justify your point that black individuals are better off today than they were a year and a half ago under Biden. And then, you try to do that by giving me an article which examined data from Trump 1.0 than Biden. Okay, but now you're saying, oh, well, technically it seems like they're pulling this one source in which states from 2017 until 2025. All right, so then I need you to specify what data was it pulling from 2025 and how is that relevant to arguing that black people are better off today than they were a year and a half ago?
Yeah, so the original claim is about revenue.
I don't want to, no, not an original claim. I want to know what that data is that this article is pulling from 2025. So you could describe to me how it demonstrates that black people are better off today than they were a year and a half ago under Biden.
Okay, so now I'm going to go into this article, click on what the data that they pulled to extrapolate the point. When
I just want to know what they're pulling from 2025. Like what data in 2025 represents that, black people are better off. In 2025, the black unemployment rate skyrocketed. In 2025, the black layoff rate skyrocketed. In 2025, I've already gone over all of this with you. We added 170,000 jobs to the economy compared to 2.2 million the year prior. Like, this is just insane. What data from 2025 is this quote-unquote study polling that demonstrates black people are better off today than they were a year and a half ago?
You have a bad habit of arguing the methodology of sources that you yourself
I'm not
use.
arguing the methodology. What? I'm asking you just what data is it pulling? I'm not saying the way in which it's pulling data is flawed. In fact, I'm not making any positive claim. You need to make positive claims in order to have an argument. Questions can't be arguments because questions can't be true or false. I'm just asking you for what data. What?
Okay, so I just pulled it up here. It says this is actually from the Small Business Administration. It tracks the loans given out, the revenue of these businesses, and operational experiences.
Okay, so what data from 2025?
So are you asking for specific numbers?
Yeah, I'm asking you for what specific data points are you referencing from 2025?
The revenue increase, specifically.
The revenue of what?
Of black businesses.
Okay, all right. Well, this is tricky now because once again, corporate revenue, corporate profits went down on average across the country in 2025. So please give me a specific source that the growth rate of revenue for black-owned businesses increased in 2025 compared to 2024.
Okay, so I want to make the claim specific. You're asking me to give you a source that shows that from 2024 to 2025, black business revenue grew.
No, that the growth rate of black business revenue was higher in 2025 than it was in 2024 because all other information seems to conclude that it's probably lower.
Okay, and when I give you this source, are you going to admit that you are woefully uneducated to speak on this issue with
I
me?
don't know. When you square a circle, you're going to admit that you're woefully uneducated to speak on these issues. Let's go ahead and see that source.
It's just so easy to dog walk you, Dean. Let me pull this
Okay,
up again.
nice claims, bro. Let's just go ahead and see that source. Holy. let's see it. Oh, damn. All right. Yeah. So there were $127 billion in estimated annual gross revenue in 2017 for Black-owned businesses. Then $211 billion in estimated annual gross revenue for Black-owned businesses in 2022. Then $250 billion in estimated annual gross revenue in 2023. Wow. So it grew really, really fast under Biden. I would love to see, how that growth rate is looking today under Trump.
So, Dean, this is from Yahoo Finance. It says, according to
Yahoo
the latest
Finance, what's the title?
So the title is Black Women Are the Fastest Growing Demographic of Entrepreneurs, but What's Driving the Trend? And it explicitly states here, according to the latest Impact of Women Business report from Wells Fargo, between 2024 and 2025, Black women-owned employer businesses grew by 13%, and the revenue was up almost 6%.
Okay, between 2024 and 2025. So this would mean that from day one of 2024 to day one of 2025, the revenue was up by 6%. Now, please show me a source that which demonstrates that from day one of 2025 until day 365 of 2025, the revenue grew by more than 6%.
All right, so for the eighth source now. So
no, I'm still just asking you to say justify that claim that there was a higher growth rate of their revenue in 2025 compared to 2024. So far, it seems like you've given me a source that in 2024, the fiscal year of 2024, the growth rate was 6%. Now you just need to show me that for the fiscal year of 2025, that growth rate was higher.
So when I proved to you that between 2025 till now,
when you come on, I just want a source for 2025. Let's go.
I'll pull it up right now.
Holy. What does that even mean? 2024 through 2025. I want to know like what the start date and the end date is of that. So I'm actually looking through that report to try to find anything to describe what that means. Anyways, in the meantime, guys, make sure that you're double tapping away on that phone screen and sharing out this live with a handful of friends.
Okay, so this is sad, Dean. So this is from fastcompany.com.
What's Fast Company?
I'm pretty sure it's some type of capitalist website.
Okay,
but they have data here. So this is sad, Dean. So
what's the source?
So it specifically states here.
No, what's the source? Fast Company, what's the title of the article?
It says Black women are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs.
That's the title?
Yes.
W Black women, by the way? Okay. And then where on this does it show that the growth rate for revenue of Black-owned businesses was higher than 8%?
So it says here it was 13%.
No, that's going to be the increase of the firms owned by Black women.
Okay, so it says Black women-owned businesses without employees grew by 13% and revenue surged by 8%. So
wait. That's just in the 2024 and 2025. You're just giving me another source that says the same thing as the first source to show me the growth rate of revenue in 2024. This is sad, dude. Comprehension issues. Holy shit.
So for the last time, you're saying specifically 2025 to 2026.
I just want you to show me that there was a higher growth rate for the revenue of Black-owned businesses in 2025 than there was in 2024. That's my question. You are complicating the hell out of a response to it, and then you're acting like it's my fault. Holy. All right, folks, I'm going to go and thank a couple people. Hey, Bianca, thank you so much for another $50 on PayPal. I really appreciate you so much for that love, Bianca. Thank you. Let's get 500 Bianca W's down below in that chat. That's another $50. I'm very, very grateful for you. Thank you so much, Bianca. Genuinely, that is so kind. Thank you. John, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you. And then Jeffrey, thank you for the 1. And Ariana, thank you for the 1. Santana, I'm gonna let you up here. I'm gonna move on from this guy once he concedes on this point. Gotta really want to keep him up for too long. Like this guy just comes up here and
so
he says some dumb shit. We kick him and then we move
then.
on.
It's fine. Dean, listen, I'm not even going to stay up because you fucking cooked this. I just want to call out really quick because when I first joined, you hadn't saw it yet. And not only did he give the most disingenuous source ever, the Brookings source that he gave that came out in 2026 directly looks at the effects of black-owned businesses under the administration. Like him sitting here making those claims is absolutely bullshit. But if you look at the very end, it says, yet despite the historic gains, recent attack on government programs that centers on diversity, equity, and inclusion threatenings continue. The Trump administration dismantled the Minority Business Development Agency, and the federal agency development exclusively to the minority-owned businesses, terminated its staff and canceled grant programs, revoking Executive Order 11246. Eliminating longstanding requirements that federal contracts implement affirmative action programs. And this dramatically impacted small business program, 8A program, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, this is the part that I really want you guys to hear. New admissions to the programs fell over 2,100 firms annually under Biden's administration to just 65 in 2025. Literally, the Trump administration has devastated black-owned businesses. I mean, they've been horrible for black-owned businesses. Like, there's nothing positive about this. Also, he lied about the whole black people boycotting, Asian businesses. That's specifically because Rick Child actually murdered a 14-year-old black boy in Columbia, South Carolina. So he's been disingenuous this whole fucking time. And honestly, I'm still talking to Dean. Honestly, you left no fucking crumbs. Like, there's no notes. 10 out of 10.
That 10 would be good boy for massa.
Yeah. Listen, you can try that all you want, but you got fucking cooked, bud. Anyway, Dean, I appreciate you. I'm gonna drop back down and keep listening.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Keep going, boy.
Dude, holy shit. Actually, what I'm looking at right now is crazy. It looks like, according to the Black Executive Brief, that in 2024, there was $249 billion in annual revenue for black-owned businesses. And in 2025, there was $251 billion of revenue for black-owned businesses. So, yeah, let's see what this guy's source is to show that there was a sharper increase in revenue for black-owned businesses.
Yeah, so this comes directly from Wells Fargo. This is the 2026 report. It's titled The Impact of Women-Owned Businesses, and they specify black-owned businesses. I'm going to give you the specific page.
It doesn't look like they've done a 2026 report yet.
I'm literally on the 2026 report.
Do you want to know why they haven't done a 2026 report yet?
Why haven't they done a 2026 report that I'm literally on?
Because we're in the middle of 2026. Do you mean their 2025 report?
I'm quite literally on the 2026 report. Quite literally.
On the 2026 report of a year that's not even over yet. Is this on Wells Fargo website, or is this on Women's Entrepreneurship Institute?
You can get this from Forbes. The link to it is in the.
Okay,
let me give you the Forbes article so you can click the link.
Holy shit!
So the title of the Forbes article is "The Hidden Cost of Not Scaling Black Women-Owned Employers," and then in that second paragraph, they give you the link to the Wells Fargo report.
The hidden cost of not scaling
Black women employers.
I'm not seeing anything from Forbes titled "The Hidden Cost of Not Scaling Black Women Employers."
of black women-owned employers.
Black women-owned employers. Yeah, it doesn't look like Forbes has an article by that name.
Well, I'm quite literally on the article. It's by Gary Stengel.
Okay, so I just want to clarify. It is the hidden cost of not scaling black women-owned employers, right?
Yes, that is the article.
Okay.
And then in the second
Like
paragraph,
word for
there's
word,
a
right?
link, word for word.
Okay.
In the second paragraph, there's a link to the.
I want to show you something. I don't think that. I think that you're lying.
Dean.
I want to show you something. I think that you're lying. Because when we go on Google and we type in Forbes in quotation marks, the hidden cost of not scaling black women-owned employers, we have 0 results for any Forbes
Click on that.
article
Wait, click on
by
that first link, Dean. Click on that first link and see what the title is. Click
Why
on it.
black women? Okay.
And what does
It's
that
show-
say?
To be fair, we're both right. It does show a different title on the metadata than it does on the page. So on the metadata,
At
it
least we
shows the
could agree
title.
on something, Dean. You know,
No, that just means that Forbes fucked up their metadata.
black and white unity. It's beautiful.
That just means that Forbes fucked up their metadata. Okay, perfect. We found it. All right. Yeah, Forbes, you need to fix your metadata, bro. What are you doing? All right. Where on this page?
So the second paragraph, that blue link, if you click on it,
Perfect.
it's going to give you the
On this link?
2026
All
report.
right, perfect. So then where do I, then where
So
do I
you
look
see
on
how
this?
that report says 2026, right?
Yep. And then where do I look on this?
So if you look on page, I just had it
Of the
here.
full report?
If you look on page 5,
Okay, on
it
page
actually gives a
5.
chart.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are we looking at on page 5?
So page 5 in the document, it actually gives a full report of the
Okay.
black-owned businesses
All right. So then what are we
and
looking
the
at?
growth rate. Jesus, Dean, this is sad.
And the growth rate is for 2025.
For African Americans, I would like you to say it out loud.
Wait, this is just the same figure as your other source. So your first source gave a growth rate 2024 through 2025 figure to be 8%. Now Wells Fargo is given a growth rate of 2024 through 2025 to be 12.9%. So both Wells Fargo and the first source that you gave me are attempting to enumerate the growth rate of revenue for the same time frame, and they're contradicting one another. So, wow, I think at this point, you're either just willfully dumb or willfully like wasting my time with intention. The reason why I say that is because you did not give me a source to show that the growth rate for revenue, experienced by black-owned businesses was higher in 2025 than it was in 2024 under Biden. But rather, you gave me 2 institutes that are attempting to provide the same figure, the growth rate for black-owned revenue, in the same time span, 2024 through 2025, but they're both saying something different. So what are you? Are you willfully ignorant? Or are you willfully wasting my time? Because I've sat here for 20 minutes so you could get your shit together and attempt to provide me evidence for the claim that you made. I've been very patient. I've been very nice.
So very specifically, this, if you read the full thing, which I know you won't, it's saying that the growth is still poised to grow. So regardless, let's say it's 2024 to 2025, because I really thought this was a 2026 report because it stated.
Yeah, man. I'm going to move on because I think that you're just wasting my time. Let's go and get that next guest connected to the live stream only app inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. We're going to stop having that guy up. He just like low-key wastes our time. Like every time he's on the live, he just wastes it. That's all it is him making insane claims. And then when I'm like, what's your evidence? He goes to ChatGPT and he asks ChatGPT, can you give me a source for this claim? And then he just reads off the first thing that ChatGPT gives him. Okay. And then we actually look at the source. It says something other than what he wants it to say, because ChatGPT's goal isn't to be accurate. ChatGPT's goal is to talk to you like a human. And then I say, okay, well, that's not the right source. So then he says, okay. And then he goes back to ChatGPT. He asks ChatGPT the same question, and then he gets another inaccurate source for the claim. And then that just goes on and on and on and on. The culmination of his efforts to prove that black-owned businesses experienced a higher growth rate for their profits, or revenue, more so, in 2025 under Trump compared to 2024 under Biden, was to provide me two sources with conflicting statistics on the same claim, by the way. Tim, do you support Trump?
Dean, you'll never get rid of me, Dean. More for president, Dean.
I don't even know who that is. Dean, you'll never get rid of me. Meanwhile, I don't even know who you are. Damn, that's embarrassing. So going to get the next guest connected to the live stream right now. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. Yo, over on Super Chat, Lord T and Megan. I appreciate the two of you guys so very much for the $50. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. I want y'all to please show some massive love to Lord T and Megan down below in that chat for the respective $50 donations. I'm so very grateful for you both. Megan with the $50 didn't say anything, but Lord T with the 50 says Elon Musk has more wealth in Taiwan, Sweden, Singapore than the 21st, 24th, and 27th, respectively, in the IMF report of the country in 2026 nominal GDP. No individuals should ever have more wealth than country governments. Ever. Elon Musk is a global welfare queen. Dude, he's a trillionaire. People just shouldn't be trillionaires, and I wish that we could all agree. Thank you guys so much. If you're watching and you want to support me, support the live streams, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bios on TikTok. Pin message over on YouTube, and the ad's right there. Dean Withers without the E in Withers. Best way to ask a question or get a message across. Hi, welcome in.
So, my grandfather is MAGA, and I just want you to talk to him about why ICE is not good.
Yeah, you could be honest. I'm not expecting you to say over 18. How old are you?
Okay, I'm 16, but he's of age.
All right, yeah, that's just the minimum. In order for me to be good with debating parents, grandparents, family members, I'm just gonna make sure that the account owner is at least 16. Debating her grandpa. All right, is he in the room with you?
Yep.
Hello, Mr. Grandpa.
Yep, his name is Joe.
Joe, are you there?
Hey, Dean. Say hello.
Who is it?
His name is Dean. Say hello, Pop-Pop.
Well.
Oh no. Hey,
Hello.
Joe. I think that Kennedy just kind of threw this on you, so I'll just kind of give you the get down. My name is Dean. I'm a big time liberal, blue-haired Democrat with 3 trillion pronouns. I love abortion, and I don't know. What's that?
You look like a liberal Democrat.
Well, thank you. Now, I debate Trump supporters. This was thrown on you, so if you don't want to debate me, you don't have to. Would you be interested in having a conversation about why you support Trump?
Yeah.
You would?
I think he's a great man. I think he's a great man, and I think that he's turned this country around. If Biden and Harris would have been elected president, this country would have been destroyed.
If Harris was elected, we'd have higher gas prices for sure.
Do you really think what kind of president do you think Harris would have made, or Biden?
A great president. But listen, so I just want to clarify. Are you saying that if Harris was elected, we would have had higher gas prices, no jobs, soaring inflation, reduced GDP
We had all
growth?
that with Biden.
So we'd have all that with Harris, right?
Well, we're only having it temporarily while this war is going on.
Yeah. You understand
coming
exactly where I'm getting at. Well, so not all the the economy's in ruin. That's why I brought that point up. You're telling me, oh, I'm so happy we have Trump. He's really turned things around. Well, I mean, every fact of our country has gotten worse off. Okay, and not all this has to do with the war. Before the war, we got the worst jobs report in 20 years, ignoring recessions. But yeah, no, gas prices are up because of the war. The war that Trump started. The war that Donald Trump didn't need to start.
Israel needed help over there. He's just trying to get Israel to stand on their own 2 feet.
Yeah, well, I don't think that we need to destroy our country because Israel needs help.
And they were building nuclear facilities that would have been aimed at the United States.
Okay, were they doing that 10 years ago?
What?
Were they doing that 10 years ago? Was Iran trying to build nukes 10 years ago?
I believe so.
Well, the facts say no, because Obama got them to stop building nukes and vowed to never build them again through diplomatic negotiations and peace agreements with no war. Donald Trump tore up that agreement because it had Obama's signature on it, and because Donald Trump is a terrible leader, unlike Obama, he has to go to war to try to force him to stop building nukes. But here we are months later, and we still not even received one political concession from the nation.
Well, I still think he's a great president, and that's all there is to it. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, he's
What
different
is it?
from the other politicians we've
Yeah.
had. I mean, he knows how to negotiate, and he's just I don't know. I just don't. I was a Democrat years and years ago, but I ran for city council on a Democratic ticket. But when Reagan came in, I had to change because they just went too far to the left.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're saying that he's done all these great things. He knows how to negotiate. If he knew how to negotiate, then he wouldn't have to start a war to prevent Iran from building nukes, like Obama, who didn't have to start a war to prevent Iran from building nukes. If he knew how to negotiate, then he would have been able to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine on day one like he said he would. If he knew how to negotiate, well, then he wouldn't be a sitting lame duck in Congress not being able to get his policy passed because he doesn't know how to negotiate with the Democrats. If he knew how to negotiate, well, then he maybe wouldn't have the lowest approval rating out of any president in history at this point in their term. And you said he was different from other politicians. Yeah, no, sure, he was different from other politicians.
Biden had conflicts and things. He paid money. He paid Iran millions of dollars, billions of dollars.
Well, that's actually not true. You're wrong about that. What you're confusing is Obama's deal that stopped them from building nukes that also include us giving a couple $1 million back to them that we stole from them in the 70s, which was a good thing. I'll give Iran some money if it means they're not building nukes. Prefer that over killing their children and making my gas prices sky high.
Well, the prices are going to go down, and in war, I mean, there have been a lot of wars and a lot of presidents, and I don't like to see children killed and things like that. But whenever there's a war, just like when the atomic bomb was dropped, that happens.
I know, which is why we should try to avoid war. But Donald Trump says, no, I'm gonna jump right on war for literally no reason. And then you said, oh, well, prices will go down. Probably true. The same way if Trump broke my arm would heal. Does it mean I won't be mad at him for breaking my arm? No, I'd still be pretty pissed. Just like I'm still pretty pissed that prices are up right now.
Where do you think? But where do you think this country would be if Harris was president?
Well, I think that, you'd probably be a little better off. I'd probably be little better off. We'd all be better off. Instead of Donald Trump taking the purchasing power away from the working class and illegally charging us 92. What's that?
She did giggle.
She giggled? Well, I understand that you might prefer fascism over a woman's laugh, but I sure don't.
You're just like all the rest of the liberals. All you want to do is talk over somebody when they're trying to talk.
I'll let you speak, sir. Go for it.
I'm just saying that she never answered any question, never gave us any answer. She said she wouldn't do anything any different from Biden. This country was terrible under Biden.
Yeah, what she meant when she said that is she wouldn't do anything different, like policy-wise. Which I agree. Biden's policy was great. Domestically, that is.
So you really think the country did well under Biden for 4 years?
I think that our government did well domestically for 4 years. Yeah, they passed some of the best domestic policy in modern American history. But because we're dealing with a pandemic, it was kind of hard for that to then, accurately be reflected on the gratitude and flourishment of the average American. Listen, can you name one bad domestic policy Biden passed?
All of them.
Okay, so you think the PACT Act was bad? Because he passed that and invested $800 billion into the expansion of VA healthcare benefits. Do you hate our veterans?
No.
No, okay, so not all of them. Do you think the...
I like the veterans. My father was a 36 career serviceman. My nephew is a major in the Air Force, and my grandson's getting ready to go in.
Okay, so you're a fan of the PACT Act then. So not all of his domestic policy is bad.
President Trump loves the veterans.
No, I think he hates them.
I mean, he spent his Christmas Eve once with veterans overseas.
Well, listen, I'll tell you, I lost my great uncle in Nam. He was drafted, and he's one of the 500 MIA. They looked for him for 40 years, and he finally had his military funeral when I was a child. A long time after he went in MIA, and that left my grandma with a life of sorrow and pain. And see, the thing is how disrespectful was it when Donald Trump turned around, called members of our military suckers and losers, and dodged the draft 6 times, and then has the gut to turn around and call for the execution of members of our Congress who reminded members of the military to uphold their oath to honor the Constitution and to defend it, which would include not following illegal orders from the president. How disrespectful is that?
How do you think he dodged the draft 6 times? Now, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, bone spurs. He falsely claimed bone spurs. He had all these bone spurs during the Vietnam War, but they weren't there before and they weren't there after. Just conveniently, every time the draft came around, Trump had bone spurs.
Well, I think George W. Bush had excuses why he didn't go in. Now, not his father, but I'm talking about him. I mean, he might have went into reserve or something like that, but he got out. He got out of the service.
How about this? If Donald Trump, if Biden called for the execution of his political opponents, can we agree that nobody in their right mind would support Biden?
I don't think that President Trump really meant that when he said it. Honestly, I don't.
Come on, man.
I don't think he just says a lot of things off the rack that he doesn't really mean.
Well, I mean, yeah. So if we have some psycho freak who's just like saying that he wants to kill everyone, but he doesn't really mean it, and he's just kind of nuts. Okay, I feel like those people probably shouldn't be in the Oval Office. Just a thought. Like that kind of makes it worse that he didn't mean it. Imagine how just it's incredibly insane someone has to be just to call for people's deaths without meaning it. Like it's just a funny little joke or something that doesn't matter too much. They should never be president.
He'll be one of the greatest presidents we've ever had.
Really? What's the best policy that the greatest president in American history has passed?
Well, he had lowest unemployment rate in history, and as I said, he praises the veterans. He says he's had people off of food stamps and things like that. He's given more jobs.
Okay, first claim, lowest unemployment rate in history. That's false. Under his first term, we had a 50-year record low. But that was actually beat twice by Biden. Second claim, loves the veterans. Well, we just kind of went over that. I guess we disagree. Third claim about jobs. Do you know how many jobs we added to the economy under Trump in 2025?
How many?
181,000.
No.
Do you know how many we added under Biden in 2024? 2.2 million. Who's better for jobs? Which number's higher?
Well, I think that's fake. I don't believe it. I think the liberals stretch that.
Okay, well, it's not coming from a liberal. It's coming from Trump and his Bureau of Labor Statistics ran by a Republican appointed by Trump less than 3 months ago to replace the other Republican who Donald Trump fired because they thought maybe they were fudging the numbers. But then the new MAGA Republican who's running it, personally appointed by Trump, said no, they didn't.
How old a person are you?
What?
How old are you? I mean, you're
21 years old with the wisdom of... Well, I was about to say an older person, but frankly, we talk to old people on this live stream every day, and I don't think you guys are too wise. That's a deflection, though. How about you? How old are you?
Oh, I'm not going to say.
Okay, you don't got it.
Okay, you told me I'm 74. I'll be 75 this year.
Okay, well, look at that, 75. So, what are your thoughts on Biden being better for jobs?
You don't think we're smart, huh?
Well, don't ask questions you don't want an answer to. Can we agree that Biden was better for jobs?
No, I don't agree with it.
Okay. So if Biden was worse for jobs, then why did he add significantly more jobs to the economy in 2024 than Trump did in 2025?
I don't believe it. I don't believe that.
You don't believe it, but Donald Trump's administration is telling us that. Why would Trump's administration tell such a lie?
I think you're the one lying.
Oh, you think I'm lying? Sure you got your reading glasses?
Yeah.
Okay, put them on real quick.
Yeah, I think you're a liar.
Put those reading glasses on. I want to show you something on that phone screen of yours. Check this out. Check this out.
What?
All right. Give me a moment. I'm pulling it up because I'm actually going to show you the reports. Perfect. All right, bro. We're just going to go off of the AI overview. The AI overview is accurate, but it's like I don't want to like dig down deep for like the specific source. All right, take a look at the phone screen. Let's read it together. Let's read the phone screen together. Let me really zoom in here. So I typed into Google BLS. It stands for Bureau of Labor Statistics Jobs Report from 2024. Can you read that number? Do you see how many jobs we added? Do you see that 2.2 million figure right there on the right of your phone screen?
I can't see it.
Okay, let me make it bigger.
Name coming later.
Let me make it bigger. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So I'm gonna replace the 2024 with 2025. Let's just see. So 2.2 million to 181,000. Okay. So can we agree that 2.2 million is bigger than 181,000?
Yes.
Okay. So Biden added more jobs. People in the chat are saying, Dean, don't use AI. I'm just Googling. Every time you Google, you use AI. Unfortunately, there's no way around it. There's no way to turn it off.
That's what she's saying.
Okay, so do you agree that Biden was better for jobs?
No, that's what she's saying.
Well, that's what the Bureau of Labor Statistics says.
Look, you're not going to change my mind about Trump. That's all there is to it.
Well, have I changed your mind about how, of how Biden was better for jobs?
Well, how come if Biden was so good and everything like that, he couldn't even get through a debate and they kicked him out of the Democratic Party?
Well, because he was old and senile. But even though he was old and senile, he's still he was still better for jobs than Trump. And that should tell you something. If the old senile guy who should probably be retired eating a chocolate chip ice cream cone on a beach somewhere, it added more jobs in a month than Trump added in a year. Guess what? What does that tell you? What does that tell you about Trump?
It tells me that Jill was running the country.
Okay.
What it tells me.
Okay, so then Jill Biden was better at jobs than Trump. So a woman is better at leading than a man. How about that?
No, that's what she's saying.
Should we call it here, sir? Should this be where we end our debate?
Why?
Well, I mean, it just doesn't really sound like you have much more to add on. I think I got you. I think I stumped you.
Are you going to debate with me again sometime?
Dang, you like it? Okay, yeah, I could debate with you again sometime. You like talking about politics and whatnot? I mean, we can keep it going.
No,
how about this?
You're just coming up with things that just aren't there, and I mean, you think you know everything.
Well, I do know everything. I'm the knower. It's Dean the Knower Withers. That's me. How about this? Would you still support Trump as president if you known he'd engaged in sexual violence by like perving on naked women and girls and whatnot?
That's never been proven.
Okay, here's him admitting to it.
It's your obligation,
Trump,
to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else, and no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
like
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
Who's that talking?
Trump.
Doesn't sound like him to me.
That absolutely sounds like Trump. That was on Howard Stern's radio show in 2005. Do you remember Howard Stern's radio show?
Yeah, I didn't watch it very much, though.
Yeah, that's where that clip's from. So it's a very like credible like source in the sense that like we know Trump was on it. We know it was a big radio show that Trump went on all the time. Yeah, that's Trump talking.
Look, I have good morals, and no, I don't approve like that from anybody, whether it was Roosevelt who did it, whether it was Kennedy who did it, but that doesn't have anything to do with a man's ability to run a country. It has nothing to do with it.
I think it does. He cares so little about other people, he's willing to violate the consent of women and girls. I don't think he's willing to make the life of the average American better.
That has nothing to do with his ability to run a country.
Oh, I think it absolutely. I just told you why. I think that a necessary prerequisite of being a good president is caring about other people. A necessary prerequisite of sexual violence, exploitation and rape is not caring about other people. That's why I have such a hardline approach to the subject matter. The prerequisites required to be a rapist, exploiter are contradictory to the prerequisites required to be a good president.
Well, I don't think any of the presidents are perfect. I mean, they all got skeletons somewhere in their closet.
But this runs deeper than not being perfect. This runs more so into the territory of maybe being like the devil. Like, I just think it's such a despicable thing to exploit and violate women and girls. I never want to give a predator power over their prey. It normalizes those actions in society. If society doesn't swiftly condemn sexual predators, well, then all of a sudden there's more sexual predators. We know there's a lot of men and boys out there that are willing to do very sick and twisted things to women and girls. And the only thing that prevents them is the possibility of consequence. But now we're removing that possibility of consequence by letting an adjudicated rapist who's boasted about exploitation, calling it great, to be president.
You know, I'm not the only one that feels this way for Trump. But how much did he beat Harris? How much did he beat Clinton before her? I mean, there are an awful lot of people out there who think the same way I do.
Yeah, just like 500 years ago, 90% of humans alive thought the earth was flat. Didn't make y'all right then, doesn't make you right now.
It doesn't make you right either.
Well, I mean, I will actually say that Trump's approval rating is the lowest out of any president in history. 27% of Americans approve of Trump's presidency. You, sir, are the minority.
Well, I'll tell you, that's done by liberals, and it's wrong. They put the approval rating down.
Oh my goodness. Do you think I'm a smart guy?
No.
No. How many continents are there?
I think you're an idiot.
Oh, nice. How many continents are there?
It's been a long time since I was in school.
Okay. No, I agree. I'm an idiot. I'm the idiot. Garrett, thank you for the $10 donation on Venmo. Says, hey, Dean, can't wait for your Jubilee episode. Hey, man. Thank you, Garrett. Can you thank Garrett for sending me a $10 donation? I'd appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Okay. Listen, man, I'm going to get into the conversation here. You have a good day, okay?
Bye.
Thank you, Dean. I'm so sorry that he was rude, but I thank you so much for your time, and I really like your videos. So thank you for your time.
Thanks, Kennedy. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Dude. Oh, man. You know, I always try to be respectful to the... respectful is a stretch. More respectful than typical to, like, the grandparents of people that will call in. The reason why is because the debate's kind of thrown on them in a sense, if that makes sense. Like all the other Trump supporters, you know, they want it. They're on that phone. They're in that queue. They know what they're walking into because they've been watching the streams. You know, I always try to be a little bit nicer to them than usual. I try to be a little bit nicer to them than usual because they're just kind of thrown into the mix. But damn, bro, that's wild. Yeah, man, he is very, very lost in the sauce. That's for sure. Folks, if you want to support me, if you want to support that live stream, you could find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok, pin message on YouTube, and the @'s right there, Dean Withers, without the Ian Withers, best way to ask a question or to get a message across. Kirsten, thank you for the $5 in Venmo. You guys. I was talking about this at the beginning of the live stream. It's huge. The Jubilee video, 1v20, releases next Sunday on June 21st. But even sooner than that, on Monday, the 15th. On Monday the 15th, the trailers will be dropping. I wish I could just tell y'all everything. I wish I could just tell y'all everything about what went down. Because it was a wild, wild ride. Genuinely insanity. Dude. The producer of the episode says that it is the Funniest, most entertaining surrounded episode she's ever filmed. By the way, shout out to all the Jubilee crew. You know, something I actually want to say here is I don't think that Jubilee always gets it right. Sometimes they get it wrong, for sure. But I think they have some good intention. I think they're good intentioned. You know, a lot of people on the internet, I've seen this, saying that they're like covert white supremacists, covert like alt-right people. I have never seen a more diverse crew than the one at Jubilee. I have shown up to film with them 4 or 5 different times now over the course of my career. And I've only ever met one white man that works for the company. One white man. And out of all the different employees I've talked to, they all seem to be really good people. Not to say that they never get it wrong, but I don't know. I think that they're good intentioned. But anyways, folks, I'm going to go ahead and hop off here for the night. I'll see you all tomorrow. Hit that follow button on TikTok. Drop a sub over on YouTube. If you want some debates, head over to @ParkerGetAJob on @ParkerGetAJob on TikTok, @ParkerGetAJob on YouTube. We have a couple people to thank. I was just about to end the stream, but then I saw my notifications. Man, Lisa, thank you so fucking much for the $100 donation on Venmo. Before I end, dude, show some massive love to Lisa down below in that chat for the $100 donation. That is beyond kind of you. Thank you. You are the GOAT. Thank you so much, Lisa. Lisa with 100 says, good biscuits and gravy. What would he think if that was his granddaughter Trump perved on? I was about to ask him that, Lisa, but his granddaughter was sitting right there, and I didn't want to I didn't want her to hear an answer that would have, shocked her world. But just know that I really appreciate you for the $100, Lisa. Let's get 1,000 Lisa W's down below. Same thing to you, Kirsten, Max, and Brianna. Thank y'all for the 5Z with the 10 who says, for Momo. I appreciate you. And then Katarina, thank you for the 15 who says, Dean, I'm not as young as you, but I want to cry laughing when I hear you debate because the other people can't argue true facts. They just go down the road of calling you names. Oh, yeah, they're nuts. Thank you for the $15, Katarina. I'm off for the night. Go raid Parker. @ParkerGetAJob everywhere. Peace, love. Good night and goodbye. See y'all tomorrow.